Jeez. I I hit harder than I meant to. I woke my dog up. My dog's just chilling there. He's doing that thing where he curls up like that, and I went, "Poof," and he was like, oh, oh man, what's going on, everybody? How we doing today? All right, happy Friday. All right, so it's a Friday. It's a Friday. All right. Uh, yeah, happy Friday. Happy Friday. I hope we're doing okay. I hope everybody here. I hope everybody here is doing okay. All right. It is snowing in the great state of Massachusetts. I don't know if it's slowed down, but it's not like terrible out. But it's funny because I live with Brazilians here. I live with my brother-in-law and my wife, and they're both from a very dry part of the world where they're located in Brazil, and because of that, like I'm looking outside and I'm like, oh, that ain't that bad. And I asked my brother-in-law, he just got home a few minutes ago. He's out driving. I'm like, yo, how was it out there? And he's like, oh, dude, it was awful. I barely got home. And I looked outside and I was like, oh yeah, yeah, it ain't that bad. It ain't that bad. If you're from Massachusetts, you know where you know what I'm talking about, right? I don't know how many of you guys here right now are actually from the great state of Mass, kid, the great state of fucking Massachusetts, kid. But you probably you probably know what I'm talking about. Anyway, speaking of which, I might have to cut the stream early. All right, it's been a weird week streaming wise. I had something I had to do on Wednesday, and then like that made it hard for me to stream. Then yesterday I was like, I could stream, I could make up the Wednesday stream, but I you know, fuck it. I'll see everybody tomorrow. I'll see everybody tomorrow. Who cares? Whatever. Um, and then because of this snow, I might have to go pick my wife up because if she doesn't feel comfortable to drive, or if I judge like that it's just like, yeah, no, don't even fucking bother. Um then I'm gonna have to go get her, right? I'm gonna have to go get her. So I apologize if that does happen. All right, don't you worry though. We will. Well, if that happens, we'll stream tomorrow for sure. Like 100% we will. The last couple of Saturdays I streamed, but only because I was like, oh, you know what? Fuck it. Let's go ahead and we'll do it. Fuck it. We'll do it. Who cares? But tomorrow will be like basically what today is supposed to be. Today is going to be we're going to watch one and potentially two fights. We're going to watch potentially two fights, but definitely one fight where Wing Chun actually works. We're going to see where a little bit of Wing Chun actually works. And I'm going to break down why it worked in those situations. Because if there was one Chinese martial art, other than like Sanda or Shuai Jiao or something like that, if there was one Chinese martial art that is more considered to be like a mainstream martial art, like a Tai Chi or a Wing Chun. Um, if there was one that worked or had the potential to work, is what I should say, it would be Wing Chun, because the way they fight is the closest to the most effective way for you to throw hands. That's just the way that it is. I've actually considered making a video about making Wing Chun work. Right, I've considered making a video like that, but it's not the logistics. There's no logistics that go into it. I just set up a camera and I go. But the effort that would be put into it is a little above the scope of what I'm willing to do right now. But if I had to take Wing Chun and make it actually worth it, to make it actually work, instead of down here, I might bring it in a little bit, right? I might even close the fists just cuz. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that if somebody's able to throw hooks, I can come here. If somebody throws, say a right hook, I'm able to go there, right? In addition to that, the punches might be a little bit more powerful as opposed to quick, but they're still going to be kind of, snappy punches. Like I've thought about it. I've put thought into it, and I'd like to run that experiment at some point. But we have a couple of examples tonight of Wing Chun actually doing pretty well. At least one. If we can find the other one, we'll go ahead and we'll look at it. But there's that. And then I found the Soviet cartoon. We watched North Korean We watched North Korean movies, a North Korean movie, and I guess it was actually like one of the more popular or well-known ones outside of North Korea. Like when people think North Korean movies, they think I think it was called Order Number 21 or something like that. Um, like we watched one of those, and then I just happened to stumble upon a North Korean cartoon, and I think it's about 15 to 20 minutes long. I could be wrong, but I figured we'd watch that. Um, I'm trying to get into a groove with streaming again where I put a little bit more effort into things, and trying to get everybody together is like herding cats and things like that. Trying to put something together that people are going to be like involved in, like say another Jeopardy stream or something like that. That's like herding cats a little bit. So if it's not something I'm like absolutely positively ready to go with, I'm like, all right, let's fucking get everything together, get everybody together. It's just not going to work out, you know. Um, is the Philly shell black people Wing Chun. 52 blocks is black people Wing Chun. It's like literally like if first off, 52 blocks does not actually exist. Okay, the concept of 52 blocks is that dudes in the penal system uh, formed a method of self-defense that specifically revolves around having 52 different ways to block punches and things like that. And it is clearly the most like bullshit thing, you know. There's a couple of things that I've seen, right? A couple of examples of things that are like, oh, okay, that could work. Like for instance, elbow blocks like that. I employ an elbow block from the Philly shell where I'll be here, right? Someone will come with a punch and I'll slip backwards and I'll raise my elbow up, right? And I'll catch a dude's fist on this elbow. Basically, the elbow is going to where my head was in the first place. So this dude, it's almost impossible for him to not throw if he's throwing with 100% conviction, not hit it. If he's throwing with 100% conviction, right? If I'm here and then whoop, bang, right? It's a good way to elbow block. And then you got dudes that, you know, they'll kind of lead with their elbow here. But like you don't need 52 different ways to elbow block. You need like three or four tops. You get to a point where it's like, all right, it's kind of fucking redundant at this point, isn't it? But then in addition to that, they don't have 52 of them. They have like, well, like you might have some dude, he did a little bit of boxing, maybe he did a little bit of Wing Chun too, and because of that, he knows like something from either of those disciplines where he's gonna be like, aha, you see, this is called the skull and crossbones. This is called skull and crossbones. Haha. That's literally what they called one of the blocks in this video that I looked up like 10 years ago at this point, just out of curiosity. They were like, well, skull and crossbones. And it's like, what the, shut up, you know? It's just funny to see that, you know? It's one of those by black people, for black people, black person magic, black girl magic. That's what it's supposed to be, is black girl magic. Ooh, yeah. It's just like it's just stupid. It's just stupid, you know. Luckily, it's not like mad dudes are running around like that. You know, most people do know that it's stupid. If they've even heard of it in the first place. If they've even heard of it in the first place, you know. But it's just like, man, you know. Fist to elbow really fucking hurts. LOL, my friend showed me that. Oh yeah, you know. If you can catch fists on your elbow, that's really good. What I don't like though is the idea that like I'm gonna guide somebody's fist to my elbow. I'm all set with that, and that's like a Wing Chun Street Fighter. Like we watched this dude. I remember he looked like Joe Dirt. And I think his name was Dave Dirch. So that's actually kind of funny. But fun, that's hilarious. That's fucking hilarious. No, but like the dude looks like Joe Dirt. He looks like his liver is like on its last fucking legs. Like he's just one of those dudes, you know. He a mullet, not like a Zoomer mullet. Like he got a mullet in the 80s and he never got rid of it. And it's now 2024. Like that kind of guy. He was sitting here and he's like, what I can do is I can guide into the elbow. And it's like, no, no, you're not going to do that. It's not going to happen. Even if it does, it's not because you made it happen. It's because the right set of circumstances conspired for it to happen. Stranger things have happened than that. I'll admit that. But you are not the one who's causing that to happen. It's just not, no, it's not happening, you know? Um, it's just a weird little fucking thing, you know? Um, yeah, it's bad in the North Shore area right now. Yeah, JC, fucking, you guys. This is the first snow that we've gotten all year. We down here. I don't know how it's been up there. I know you've gotten like a little bit of snow here and there, but like this is not only the first snow that we've gotten. The last week it was like 50 or 60 degrees out. I shit you not. You know, we've been getting lucky out here. We've been getting lucky out here. You know. Um, but yeah, wasn't Sensei Scott's Blood Games character that showed up on Nick's porch? Oh, dude, fucking, you caught me. You caught me. Cage thought he sensed a vampire, so he thought he sensed a vampire in Chicago, so he had to go out there and see if Nick was harboring any vampires in the floorboards of the attic, you know, wherever Nick might be harboring some vampires, you know. Um, Man, fucking yeah. I made an offer to Nick Fuentes, and that of course that's only like half serious. Like if he was seriously willing to hire me, I could do the job. You know, a lot of people don't realize that. You see, private security is a bullshit thing unless it's like a situation like a fucking like a presidential situation, you know. And I guarantee you that for $13,000 a week, Nick is not getting a presidential situation. He's overpaying for underwork. He's going to be overpaying for under delivery, right? Because you have kind of you have a few different little not sectors, but flavors of private security, right? You have the like there's this big dude. He may or may not be black, but for the most part, his selling point is the fact that he's 6'4" and he's 280 pounds. You have that kind of private security, and then you have the tactical. So somebody actually mentioned it. In the thread, they were like, "Oh, 4 to 5 police officers, ex-police officers, 4 to 5 ex-police officers. They take shifts. They're making sure everything's secure. Blah 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 blah." Right? If I don't know which one of those Nick wants, I would assume it's probably ex-police officer pretending like they actually have a beat on anything that's going on, and then they just fucking chill there, right? Like I would assume that's probably what he's going for. He would be overpaying. He would be overpaying for what they are going to be able to do, right? Because that's the thing about the Secret Service is they're the fucking Secret Service. No cop is going to be like, "Oh, you're Secret Service? Yeah, but like this is a public road, dude. You can't just fucking block it off." Imagine Nick's security going to a fucking cop and being like, "Hey, we got Nick Fuentes here. We need to close down this. We need to close down this fucking Dairy Queen right now. We need to close down this Dairy Queen because Nick Fuentes wants a fucking Blizzard. He wants a Reese's Blizzard, and we can't have any security threats. Like what he's paying for, they're not going to have the ability. Like what he's got, they're not going to have the ability to like do things like that. So it's pretty pointless to even try and go with that level of security in the first place, right? The only thing you could hope for would be if you got a compound and you had dudes who they were securing the compound. That's the closest thing to like Secret Service type shit. The tactical earpiece fucking guy. He's got an Uzi shoved in his suit pants. That's the closest thing to that type of guy that you're gonna be getting. And like for 13 grand, no, it's not gonna work, right? I get it's 13 grand per week, right? It's 13 grand per week, but I just don't believe he's going to be getting his money's worth, right? And then on the flip side of that is, again, like I said earlier, the dude who he's just big. He's just a big fat guy. That's all he is. No fighting experience, no ability to keep situational awareness. At least at least maybe the cops, the ex-cops, might have some understanding of what situational awareness is and how to spot potential threats and how to deal with them accordingly and things like that. Maybe the ex-cops might have an idea of how to do that, but fucking Bubba, no, no. He's just a bruiser, right? He's designed more so that if somebody comes at Nick with a knife, Bubba can step in and he can take the knife and he might not die. Maybe. Potentially. Maybe. Possibly. Right? But then also just seeing that big of a dude, again, may or may not be black, and some fucking twink leftist is gonna be like, oh man, I don't know if I want to mess with him, right? But the thing is, like, a twink leftist who had that state of mind about the situation wouldn't be making a move like that in the first place. It would be somebody who was like, I have my gun, I'm not afraid of Bubba. That's who it would end up being. So it's a situation where it's like, I'm not saying it's a waste of money to try and get private security, but like, if you're sitting here and you expect quality for 13 grand a week, like, what kind of quality are you expecting? First off, probably not the presidential service that Nick expects, I would assume, right? Either that, or you're just gonna get some dude who he's just gonna be a book. He's gonna be a bookend. You get one or two dudes, they just stand around like bookends, and if something really does pop off, there's a pretty good chance they're not actually gonna be helpful. You know, could be either. Could be either. You know, and that's why like it's good to be able to shoot. Don't get me wrong, right? You need to be able to shoot. If Nick Fuentes hired me, yeah, no problem. I'd get a gun, right? Obviously. For what he's paying me, yeah, I'll get tons of guns. I'll get a Webley is what I'm gonna do. My carry pistol for on the job is gonna be a Webley. All right, you guys know what a Webley is? Hold on. It's gonna be this. Imagine Antifa decides they're gonna come at us with like 10 dudes. And I just have my fucking Webley here. I'm like, no, but like, jokes aside, fucking, you know, like, there's more to private security than just being able to shoot, and there's more to it than just being able to fight. And I fall into a category where, I know how to fight, but I know more than just how to fight. I know how to actually use situational awareness. I know how to de-escalate situations, etc., etc. That's part of what I teach people and things like that. I'm not just some guy who's like, here's how you win. Here's how you win the tournament. I'm not just that. That's a large part of what I do, obviously, but I've always had a great interest in how you would use these things as well as other things. What cringe people call verbal judo and certain other things like that. I've always taken an interest in that stuff, and because of that, because of that, I know about it, right? Ocular pat down. Yeah. 13K buys a lot of guns and ammo. It does. Indeed, it does. What are your thoughts on the Nick Fuentes attempted assassination? This is why, like, again, it's very cringe. I hate cliches, and I hate trite observations. I hate trite sayings. Okay. Verbal judo is one of those, right? You see every guy who he claims he's a self-defense expert, and he's like, you need to be able to use your verbal judo. And it's like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Tell me, what does that mean? They don't even know what they mean by that, right? I could tell you what I mean by it if I was to say the word verbal judo, right? For me personally, right, one of the best things you can do that I've done, that I've noticed, when somebody's really trying to not really trying to come at you, but they're being aggressive, they're like, yo man, what the fuck, you want to fight, blah blah blah, ask them a question. I shit you not, and not like a smart ass question, right? But just be like, why? They're like, yo dude, you're lucky I don't fuck you up. Just be like, well, why? What? Why? You know, it resets them almost, right? They'll be like, huh? Like they'll genuinely get confused at that a lot of the time because in their mind it's go time. Even if it's not like go time, it's still go time. You know, it's like I got to be the bigger man. Well, you know what I mean when I say bigger man. You know, I'm a big man. I'm a strong man. I'm gonna show this guy I'm the big man. And then when you're just like not completely passive, but not aggressive, and you ask like why? Like why would we fight, man? Like why would we want to fight each other like that? When you ask questions like that, it's something that it comes so out of left field that they're like and it's worked for me plenty of times, right? And now to actually get back to it, right? Um, to actually get back to it, right? Um, thoughts on the Nick Fuentes assassination? I don't like trite sayings, okay, but it is better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6. I hate that I just said that. That does not mean that you should be blasting people just for the sake of it. All right. What I'm saying is specifically in reference to the first situation that occurred with him with that bitch who came up to his door, phone in hand, ready to for him to open up the door and be like, "You're a Nazi! you're a Nazi! I'm at your front door. What are you gonna do about it?" Completely and totally justified. This didn't have to happen, right? The assassination attempt didn't have to happen for what he did to have been justified on a moral level, on a common sense level. But this just justifies it even more. Because who's to say that that woman didn't have a gun on her? Who's to say that woman wouldn't have or could not have been the guy who brought the gun and the crossbow a couple of nights ago? Who's to say? The only way to figure that out is to open up the door and hope God has your back. And, well, I'm not saying God doesn't have your back. I'm just saying, hey, somebody brings a gun to your house. That is what it is, you know? So overall, like I never had an issue with what he did to that woman who came up to his house to try and scare him because that's part of what that was, right? And that's something that leftists really don't understand. Not to make it even more cringe than it already is and be like the left wing leftists, but like leftists don't actually understand violence. They understand half measure violence, but when it comes to real violence, they don't understand it in a sincere way. At least the average leftist does not. The average leftist is what you would refer to as a useful idiot, which again, I hate cliches, but it's just a fact of the matter. These are the people who like their idea of revolution is they break your car window and they leave a note on it that says punch Nazis, you know. They show up to your house and they put a sticker on your car or like they knock on your door like what that bitch did so that they can be like, "Ha yeah, I know where you live," right? It's threats, whether they're veiled threats, whether they are direct threats, whether it's a threat that is implied, whether it's an implied threat. They are threats. That's the bottom line. And these leftists, what they like to do is they try to go up to the line, and that line is actually having to shoot or stab or punch somebody for real. And when you reach over that line and swipe at them, they're like, "Whoa, hey, he's so violent." And that's what's happening with that woman right there. You know, that's why she's pressing charges and things like that. She knew what she was doing. She had bad intentions going up to his place like that. She had bad intentions going up to his house like that. But Nick he wasn't having it. He wasn't playing the game, you know? And that is what it is. It's a game to them. You know, you have to play the game, and when you don't play the game, when you're like, "This ain't a fucking game." When you do that to them, they're like, "Oh my God, boy, all I did was go up to his door. It's not illegal to knock on somebody's door. I'm pressing charges." You know? So fuck that hoe. Like she can take a long walk off a short pier. And yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, there's crazies out there, and you got to be ready for that. And um, Nick knows that more than or better than a lot of people out there. I'm sure Nick knows that better than a lot of people out there, and I'm sure he's not surprised that that sort of thing happened, even though it is probably alarming to him for obvious reasons. But I'm sure he's not surprised that it happened. And all he can do is just be prepared for it at the end of the day. Not only that, but the police have to take things seriously, which isn't going to happen. But I'm just speaking in terms of just like in a perfect world here, the police need to be aware of this shit. They are, but they need to act like they're aware of this shit, and they actually got to do something about it. When somebody goes up to somebody's house with bad intentions like that, they can't be playing this dumbass game. Cops, the way cops enforce no trespass orders is the way the cops need to enforce fucking like other shit like that. Like I've never been spoken to in as rude of a way by a cop as when I was being banned from a store. Right? There was one instance this year. I got pulled over. It was bullshit. The cop was clearly having a bad day. It was a statey. So, a pussy, right? As we know them, as we in Massachusetts know them. And he kind of talked to me like I was an asshole, but like getting fired from a place and then them not telling me that they fired me. So I walk behind the counter. It was a convenience store that I was working at for a few months. And I checked the schedule and I'm not on there. And I'm like, what the hell happened? All right, I'll go home now and I'll go ahead and I'll give them a call. And then the next day, waking up to calls from the police where they're like, you better never come back here because if you do, we're going to like they enforce no trespass orders that are bullshit, that are just like some pussy at the store was like having a bad day and he was like, oh good, I get to call the police on someone now, ha ha. They enforce those harder than they do Antifa and like just the left in general going at people in like real ways like that. And that needs to stop. Is it gonna? No, it's not gonna. Strap in. Strap in. That's what I was seeing for years when I was paying attention to those fucking street battles. As Antifa comes, they bring fucking all sorts of illegal weapons, including IEDs. They're starting fights, trying to hit people with shit. And the only time the cops jump in is when the right wingers are like, "What the fuck?" You know, it's fucking ridiculous, dude. You know. It's fucking ridiculous. What about when we were traveling in a park and they violated our sovereign rights? Yeah, dude, I remember that. I fucking remember that. That was the dumbest shit. And the statute that they tried to get us with, they were like, "Oh, we need you to identify yourselves. Hand over your can we see your IDs? I'm gonna need to see some ID. Give me your ID." And we're like, "Yo, like why?" Like, why do you need to see our IDs? We're just walking through a public park right now. It's not even nighttime. You guys are just being assholes. We didn't even say that, right? But he was like, oh, well, you see, there's a statute under Massachusetts law that says that I can take people's IDs and copy the information down. And then if you have committed a crime right now, then I can come get you for it later. So we don't know if you've actually committed a crime. We don't know if you've actually committed a crime. But according to Mass state law, we can take down your IDs and we can determine at a later date and then arrest you. That's hold on one sec. I just want to double check something. I want to make sure of something. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, I'm gonna have to go in a second, but I'll finish this point. I'll finish telling the story. Like basically, we just sat there and stonewalled them. We were like, no, we're not doing it. No. And I'm not telling you guys to do this. This isn't legal advice. I'm not a legal advisor. I just know what I've been told, and there's a very good chance that I could have done it the wrong way. Okay, I could have done it the wrong way, and like if you try and do it the way that I did it, basically just being like, nah, we're not showing you anything, then like, you could be fucked. But luckily, in my case, the cop was just like a lethargic pussy. He was like, why won't you show me ID? But are you hiding something? Why won't you show me ID? It's not a hard request. I just need to see some ID. He's sitting there like that. And eventually, like, I think the dude just got bored. I was just like, no, 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 we're not doing that. We're not doing that. No, no, we're not doing that. Are we free to go? Are we free to go? No, no, we're not doing that. Are we free to go? And I think he was just like, whatever. I ain't getting blood from. We ain't drawing no blood from this stone. Just fucking let him go. And to this day, we still don't know what we did. Like, uh, chances are the police were just fucking bored. Is what it was. They were just bored. And that's what it is when it's situations like the fucking your local 7-Eleven calls and is like, hey, I want to pull a no trespass order for this guy who we fucked over, right? Is these guys are bored and they just want someone to yell at, is really what it is. That's really what it is. But what's going on, Neon? What's going on, Zach? And what's going on, everybody who just popped in? How we doing? How we doing tonight, gentlemen? I'm gonna go ahead, right? Because it's like I said, I might have to leave early, and when I say leave early, I mean like I might have to leave like right now. Honestly, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna mute the microphone, and I'm gonna go to the be right back screen. It won't even be 5 minutes. I just gotta call my wife to make sure everything's all good. Yeah, so it's snowing. It's snowing here, and it's not that bad out, but it's bad enough as to where like my wife, who didn't spend her entire life driving around in these conditions, she's not that great at it. And because of that, I was prepared to have to give her a ride home. So that's why I was like, "Oh, I gotta go quick. I gotta go quick." But yeah, so everything's all good though. She's almost home. I'm actually gonna be making some hot chocolate. I'm gonna be making some hot chocolate, and it's gonna be nice because when I make hot chocolate, it's not just, oh, we're gonna do fucking Swiss Miss in some water. It's actual good fucking hot chocolate. Excuse me. But anyway, um, yeah. So overall, like, Nick Fuentes, in my opinion, and this isn't a legal opinion, he did the right thing by doing what he did to that chick. And the thing is, like, here's a piece of the issue when it comes to laws and things like that. The legal system in the United States does not account for the spiritual damage that occurs when you are victimized or when you put yourself through something that is, spiritually damaging, right? Um, and this is why it's so important for you to be able to learn how to fight, but not just know how to fight, be an absolute pit bull about it when it comes down to it, right? Because there's a great example of a situation that occurred, I want to say a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I forget exactly where I heard this from. It might have been Taxon, Tax from season one of Fish Tank. I think it was a buddy of his. He went to film a hip hop video with some Asian dudes. It was some Asian dudes who wanted to film the hip hop video. It was Asian hip hop, is what it was. And this lily white dude goes into the Asian neighborhood, and he gets robbed. And he doesn't just get robbed; he gets his head stomped on. These people are laughing in his face. They're spitting on him. They're making it not just a robbery, which is bad enough. He's being victimized, and there's a certain amount of spiritual damage that will occur there, but they turned it into a humiliation ritual, right? Um, Another example of something where it's not necessarily a crime, but there is quite a bit of spiritual damage that occurred. That I think her name was Lily Phillips. I know her first name was Lily, but I think her last name might have been Phillips. I forget if it was or was not. Directly after she slept with 100 men back to back in one day, she was absolutely positively broken. You could see that she was, and it was heartbreaking. I don't feel the way that a lot of these dumbass conservative women feel about that, but I'm not going to get into it. The bottom line is you could just see that it was heartbreaking. And somebody said something. I think I retweeted it at the time. This is like last week. This is irrefutable evidence that humans have souls and they can be damaged. You can damage your soul yourself, or you can have it damaged for you. And when you are victimized in the way that Nick is being victimized right now, that is soul damaging. And the only way to stop the damage to your soul is to stand up to it. And this is why it's so important to have the ability to protect yourself, for one thing, but also stand up to evil. Stand up to these fucking gremlin ass motherfuckers. These shisty goblin motherfuckers. They have evil in their hearts. They have darkness in their hearts, and that's what that specifically that first woman, the second dude, right? That dude, irrefutable. There's darkness in his heart, but there is a certain kind of darkness in that woman's heart where, at least the second guy showed up just to try and kill Nick. At least he just showed up to try and kill Nick. The first woman showed up specifically just to try and terrorize him, to try and siphon some of that energy out of him, to make his soul feel a little bit less secure, a little bit less stable, right? And obviously, it's better to live than to die, in most cases, right? But I'm hoping you guys are picking up what I'm putting down, right? You need to be able to defend yourself. And I don't just mean you need to know how to fight. You legally need to be allowed to defend yourself. You should not be getting charges pressed for somebody walking up to your house with bad intentions and you tell them, hey, no, you're not going to damage my soul. You're not going to wound my soul. You're not going to aggress upon my physical body, but more importantly, you're not going to damage my psyche in that way. You're not going to damage my soul in that way. It's not going to happen. It is of the utmost importance, to the point where anything less than the total acceptance of a situation like that first person who went up to Nick Fuentes' house getting their ass beat, is a violation of human rights. Nick's human rights are being violated, and everyone's human rights are being violated. It's not just a Nick Fuentes thing. The same thing would have happened if it wasn't Nick Fuentes. In fact, they weren't going to press charges originally, but then the chick pushed. She forced the issue, and I think he lives in Chicago. The Chicago police were like, oh yeah, you know what? Fine, we'll go ahead and we'll do it, right? And the prosecutor is absolutely positively going to go at his ass, okay? And the same thing would happen to you too. It's not just oh, Nick Fuentes is a Nazi thing. If it happened with me, someone who has a fucking brown wife, right? If it happened to a leftist, a fucking left winger, if the same thing happened to a left winger, they would most likely have charges brought against them, right? Unless there was some political maneuvering going on. But the point is, it's not political maneuvering that Nick Fuentes is having charges brought against him for that first situation. It's not, right? It might seem like it because it's Nick Fuentes, but it's an everybody thing, and you can see it happen with everybody, where you're not allowed to protect yourself even when somebody is coming to your house with bad intentions. If a dog barks around a cop and the cop feels a little bit nervous, he's gonna pull out his Webley. He's gonna pull out his Webley, right? And he's gonna start. He's gonna empty the cylinder. All right, that's what's gonna happen. That's what he's gonna do, because cops are allowed to do that. Because when it comes to the state protecting itself, they're dealing with reality. The understanding that you really don't know what somebody's intentions are. And if somebody's aggressing upon you, you really got to do something about that. Because if you don't do something about that, that's how you end up being the one that gets hurt. But when it comes to us peons, when it comes to us civilian scum, when it comes to us civilian scum, no, we have to wait until someone has the knife halfway in our chest before we can push them. Before we can be like, hey, get away, buddy. What's the big idea, pal? And it's disgusting. And it's a situation that, like, if you talk about in the way that I talk about it, normies are just going to be like, oh, who cares, bro? Who cares, man? But it is one of, and if not, probably the most important thing in terms of the self-defense discourse. People think it's the Second Amendment and the right to bear arms and things like that. They'll let you have guns, but the second you use one, you're going to get strung up. And that's far more important. The ability to defend yourself, no questions asked, that is far more important than even owning guns. Fucking, you can defend yourself without guns. Guns make it easier. You should own a gun if you can, for sure. But what's even more important than owning a gun is the ability to actually use force on somebody to stop them from aggressing upon you or your loved ones or just anybody. You shouldn't be getting locked up over that. Daniel Penny, another great example. But here we are. Everything is illegal now. Everything's illegal, specifically regarding any use of force, right? It is what it is, though. I'm Scott's brown wife's boyfriend. Yes, you're my brown wife's black boyfriend, Neon. Oh, excuse me. If she doesn't get him legally, she'll sue him in civil. Yeah, and this is why a lot of the time you'll see people who they just go the civil route. And don't get me wrong, like, just because he gets the charges dismissed in criminal court, if he is found, say, not guilty, or they dismiss the trial or something like that, that doesn't necessarily mean that a civil court is not going to find in favor of the plaintiff, but it is a pretty good indicator of where that might go. So it might actually not be the worst thing in the world if it does get taken to trial, or if it does get thrown out for one reason or another in criminal court. Right? It might actually be a blessing in disguise that he has to deal with the criminal court, because there's a very good chance that he'll get off on that. It's really hard. It's really hard to get a criminal court to give a fuck about something like that, specifically when it comes to like a jury or something like that. If they do end up getting a jury trial, I know I just sat here talking about how, like, oh, it's bullshit, self-defense laws are bullshit. They are 100%. And the fact that he has to go to a trial, or the fact that he is having charges brought against him in the first place is bullshit, right? And then you do have a certain percentage of these things where the guy who was in the right does go to jail or prison, right? But like it'd be really really hard. Now I know you see, and this is where the whole thing with Nick Fuentes and his political views and stuff like that does come in. There's a pretty good chance they'll try and railroad him, but what are they going to get him with, right? Assault with a deadly weapon. They'll probably end up having to. They'll probably end up having to. They'll probably end up having to reduce that, right? They'll probably end up having to reduce that, giving some of the aggravating factors. I believe that's the term, baby. So if I don't know if it's the same in Brazil. My wife was a lawyer in Brazil. Now she's gay. No, but so if there's a situation where somebody like let's say you punched me in the face, but it was because I kept pushing you and I pressed charges on you, right? Would that be assault or assault and battery, or would that be like aggravated battery because of like the fact that I was pushing you? Like how would they classify that? Is aggravated battery like battery, but also there was like it's not like he was just doing it because he wanted to or because he was like fucked up. It's like, oh, this guy's pissing me off, you know, bot.
I don't think it would be aggravated. I don't think nothing would happen. Honestly.
No, I'm not asking like. So what would happen if I'm saying like, what would that be classified as, right? Because I'm trying to logic my way through the legal system here, and
Yeah, I don't know the term in English. That's the problem.
what is it in Portuguese?
Portuguese would be lesão corporal.
Lesão corporal.
Yeah.
So corporal would be corporal in American. In English, because that's a cognate, and corporal, as in like corporal punishment. How do you spell that?
Also, L P
E
S
S
A O.
A with the squiggly.
Yeah.
Oh, injury. Oh, that's literally just bodily harm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, thank you. Bottom line. Bottom line of what I'm trying to say is like I'm no expert on the legal system. However, like if you pay attention, you may notice the way that certain things tend to happen, And prosecutors are not actually interested in getting justice. They're interested in getting a conviction. So they're going to go with whatever they feel is going to get a conviction. So because of that, it wouldn't surprise me if they either dropped certain charges that he might be getting charged with, or if they reduce certain charges, Fucking instead of assault with a deadly weapon, it's just simple assault or some shit like that. It wouldn't surprise me. Or maybe they'll even try and cut a deal as well. You never know. You never know though. You never know. Oh, excuse me. I mean, I'm cool with it, but he shouldn't have sprayed her. He knows lawfare will fuck him. He's been in the game long enough to know. Yeah. It's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate thing, definitely. But hopefully he's going to be all good, because even though I'm not like some kind of gigantic Fuentes fan, that's never really like, I've never really watched him. I've never really paid attention to him. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm a little bit too tall to ride that ride. to ride that ride. I'm shit talking my potential employer here. Jokes aside though, like I have no particular sort of like fanboy love for Nick Fuentes or anything like that, but I don't think anyone should be having their home almost invaded by dudes with guns and crossbows and stuff like that, who, mind you, earlier in the day killed 3 innocent people. and was trying to make it a fourth innocent person, you know? I don't think anyone should have that sort of thing just like happening to them like that. I don't think that's I don't think that is okay. Um this nut job shows up to his door for 5 minutes. Now Nick has to hire a lawyer to go to trial. It sucks that someone being a dick for 5 minutes can consume all that from you. Yeah, yeah, and you see that's how they get you. I forget when I think I said it in the stream where I talked a little bit about the Daniel Penny situation. They say you can beat the rap, but you can't beat the ride, and that's 100% true. You know, and that's the way that our legal system is set up as a way to to have lawfare. What was I gonna do? What was I gonna do? What was I gonna do? Nick Fuentes is a modern day Hal Turner. Look up who that is. All right, I'll bite. Although I feel like somebody may have told me about him at some point because that does sound familiar. Harold Charles Hal Turner, born March 15th, 1962. That is March 15th is my grandmother's birthday. Is an American political commentator and convicted felon from North Bergen, New Jersey. And you see, when have you ever seen anything else, right? When have you seen like I don't know who this guy is. I don't know what his whole thing is, right? I mean, fucking, down there, right? Now we see why all of a sudden Wikipedia is like, oh yeah, the opening line has to be and convicted felon, you know? Turner's viewpoints typically encompass Holocaust denial and white supremacy and have included calls for assassination of people. People. In August 2010, he was convicted for making threats against 3 people who wear robes. That's pretty crazy. That is a pretty crazy. Turner has sporadically hosted the Hal Turner Show, usually on show. When I saw short, I almost read that as Showtime. I almost read that as Showtime for a second. I was like, whoa. Station WBCQ since 2002, as well as corresponding blog, which has changed URLs frequently and spread hoaxes and fake news. Activism and assault. This is a bit of a rabbit hole. Maybe we'll go down. I mean, I don't think I personally need to be like going down the rabbit hole with you guys, but I'm just curious about it. I'm just curious. But anyway, I'm gonna get some stuff real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, I'll be right back. Because I'm making hot chocolate. All right, and I need to get the hot chocolate stuff. Don't worry, getting it all together, boys. Uh, so just let me get this stuff set up. It's not like it ain't rocket science or anything like that. Although I did forget one thing, I'm gonna have to go back. But so once I get this started, we're gonna be looking at a video that somebody sent me. All right. We're gonna look at a video that somebody sent me, and it's actually sort of a cool video, but it's also kind of annoying, and I'll tell you why. It's the Wing Chun video that I mentioned we were gonna take a look at. Just let me go grab that thing. Yes. Hot chocolate. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. So, oh shoot. Thank you very much, Tommy, for becoming a member. I appreciate that. Oh, it was David Iacovino. Thank you very much for gifting thank you very much for gifting the membership, dude. Thank you. Oh, and it was to more people too. Huh. I'm trying to. Oh, it was 5 gifted subs or 5 gifted memberships. Excuse me. Excuse me for speaking Twitch to you, gentlemen. Excuse me. I apologize for that. But thank you very much, David Iacovino. But anyway, this is how you make the best hot chocolate. Okay, you don't use milk, you don't use water, you use half and half. All right, and it makes it so much better. It makes it so much fucking better. You know. I also I'm gonna mess around a little bit tonight. We're also throwing these in there to melt. One of them is just, extra cocoa. I would assume this is like a dark chocolate or just like a double chocolate or something like that. And then we have one with a little bit of caramel in it that I decided I would mess around with. Although I'm seeing something in the middle there that is a little bit strange to me. So that actually makes me a little bit nervous, but I think we're good. I think we're good. Anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna get this started. All right. I don't think I'm gonna need all of this, but fuck it. I guess we're using all of it. Because that's the thing too. I don't drink coffee like that, so you know, like I'm gonna use however much of this I'm gonna use, and then it's just gonna sit in my fridge until I throw it away. So I might as well just use all of it, right? So I want it to be nice and want it to be on the lower side, Then what I gotta do. I'm gonna throw like mad of these in there. So you get the hot chocolate pouches, and it mixes with the half and half really, really well. See what the half and half does though is it makes an actual thick chocolate milk, hot chocolate, right? And if you are making if you're making what are you making? If you're making milkshakes, you see the thing is like I've tried using it to make milkshakes and it doesn't work horrible. It's just that if you don't drink the milkshake right away, it starts to separate. You literally get like You, oh, you know what? I probably shouldn't. You see times this thing has been left like that, you know. But you know. All right. Hold on one second. I gotta grab one more thing. Sorry, I'm setting up right here. I'm trying to get set up right here, and because of that, like the stream's a little slow right now. But don't worry, we're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it. All right, boys, we back. We back. We better than ever. You know, I'm actually gonna turn this down just a little bit, just to make sure. Just to make sure. You know, make sure you stir it. Yeah, that's still very cold. See, because obviously it's not like I'm trying to. It's not like I'm trying to boil that shit, right? I just want to warm it up a little bit. I just want to warm it up. But milk fat percentages are important in cooking. I get good results by melting a half cup of ice cream, then blending it with the scoops of frozen ice cream. Ah, that's interesting. That's interesting. Might have to try that. Might have to try that. But so fucking a few days ago, not even a few days ago, like a week or so ago, I ended up doing a stream where, whether on purpose or by accident, I reviewed a guy who is a Wing Chun dude who claims to have tried taking Wing Chun to the world of MMA. And yeah, it didn't go too well. It didn't go too well. And yeah, it didn't go too well for the guy, and I talked about it. Even when he won fights, he didn't win fights using Wing Chun. He won fights using like jujitsu and not even boxing. Literally just trying to be a bruiser, just like literally winding up and throwing punches. Stuff that no martial art would ever tell you to do. Even like the bullshit martial arts aren't going to be like, and then you reach back, and then that's not how you do it. That's not how you do it. It's not. And this dude, all right, you'll notice I have it in my held comments because I'm just like, do I even want this bullshit? Do I even want this bullshit? Right? On my thing, but I suppose I should. And it says blocked words. I don't think it's blocked words. I think it's that there was this because I don't have any blocked words or anything like that. But um he left this fucking gargantuan novel, all right? This fucking novel. And he ended up including this at the end of it, all right? We're going to go ahead, we're going to check it out. So, as you can hear, no, actually, you can't hear. You can't hear. What's going on, Milk Hunter 69? Making some hot chocolate and looking at some kung fu here.
Hello, everybody. I have found an interesting.
So, as you can see, all right, as you can see, there is an Indian man talking over this. I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna mute that. All right, you can't see, but you know I just muted it. All right, because whatever, who cares? It's some Indian dude. But anyway, This is apparently a real kung fu fight, episode 31, Wing Chun versus MMA. And this guy right here is the MMA guy. If you didn't know, this guy is the Wing Chun guy. I have no clue where this is. If I had to guess, I'd say it was probably Russia or something like that. It looks like a Western country, but not a Western country. That sort of thing you get with some of these Slavic states, specifically Russia here, like I said. But um, go ahead, just make myself a tiny bit smaller here, and then I'm gonna stir. I'm gonna stir a little bit. Gotta make sure to stir here. All right, we're in good shape. But anyway, so uh, it's about kung fu. I love all these. This is how you know it was from. This is how you know it was from Chinese. I'll go ahead and I'll take mine off. Right. Whoopsies. I'll take my overlays off. Right. Hello. 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 Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? I think I might have clicked something. I think I might have clicked something by mistake. I think I might have clicked something by mistake. You guys can you guys hear me? Hold on. I hate the I gotta get rid of the I gotta get rid of the delay a little bit. Ah, okay. Yeah, I gotta get rid of the delay. I clicked my audio input by mistake. I gotta get rid of the delay because I hate sitting here like, can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Is everything all good? And then I gotta wait like 30 seconds just like for you guys to actually hear that part. But anyway, um stir here. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. That's yeah, that's starting to heat up a little bit. That's starting to heat up just a little bit. Then uh sorry. We already got to do this whole thing over. We already got to do this whole thing over. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and take care of the I'm going to take care of the hot chocolate real quick, I'll do my thing. But anyway, so uh Come on, pain in the ass. Don't worry, it's coming. I'm gonna put 2 more in. I think 2 more will be fine, especially because I'm gonna melt this in with it at some point. Dude, just go. Fucking get out of here. Waiting, you have this shit completely turned over, and it's taking the fucking shit forever to do. Might need another. You know what? I'm gonna put 2 more in just to see what'll happen. Oh, what's going on, the Jack 'em Up Kid? Thank you very much for becoming a member. Don't worry, we're gonna get into this in just a second. I'm showing you guys how making hot chocolate is done. Even though I've literally never made hot chocolate like this before, so there's a pretty damn good chance that it could be fucked up. I could fuck this up. All right. It's doing that thing. It's doing that thing where the fucking the hot chocolate fucking sits there on the top. I'm trying to like make sure it's all mixed in. Okay. Then I'll throw the chocolate. Nah. I'm gonna wait another minute to throw the chocolate in. But I like making mine triple chocolate, half sweet, brewed in milk with salt, then vanilla and cream at the end. That does sound pretty good. I've never had cinnamon in my hot chocolate, but that does sound good too. But anyway, what we have right here, now that you guys can actually fucking hear me again, we have a fight where it's going to be Wing Chun versus MMA, and you're going to go ahead and you're going to see what I saw when I first watched this. So we got a kick followed by that sort of well-known chain punching, right, from Wing Chun. We have a Thai plum here, followed by a couple more of those soft punches, a little bit more chain punching. So Wing Chun guy is obviously doing pretty well right now, right? You see that, again, that chain punching. And this right here is interesting to me, right? Because the dude that's speaking in this that I've muted, he's trying to say that this is basically that this is equivalent to that, when this is one of the most basic positions that you could end up in a Greco-Roman or any kind of grappling match, you know. MMA guy, he has sort of an underhook situation, and Wing Chun guy is going for an overhook. It wouldn't surprise me if he had some kind of grappling experience or something like that. Or he's doing what pretty much anyone ends up doing, just sort of on their own, because ending up in a position like this is not that hard. You don't need years of training to end up like that. Wing Chun guy is doing very well right now, and he's using Wing Chun to do it. But this trying to be like, oh yeah, and this clear MMA part of the fight, that's actually a Wing Chun thing, because you see this old dude and this other dude, and it kind of looks similar a little bit if you squint your eyes really hard and maybe imagine. It's just funny to see that. See, I forget if this is a 3/4 Nelson or not. I don't think it is, but I could be wrong. So right now, Wing Chun dude, and here's another thing, right? Again, you see, and this is the issue with Wing Chun guys and Chinese martial arts guys, is they're always trying to take things that aren't explicitly Chinese martial arts things, whether it's their like style or not, and they're always trying to be like, oh well, actually, you see, this comes from here, and it's like, no, it doesn't. It just doesn't, right? This kid, we'll go back and we'll watch, right? Because what this dude does is he hits a snap down into a sprawl, right? It's coming, it's coming. Snap down, sprawl, right? He already had a front headlock position. He just dropped his weight and he sprawled out. And now he doesn't have a very good sprawl, but Mr. MMA guy right here is he's not doing too hot. So yeah, it's more of the same thing a lot of the time, you know. So what we have right there is what's called a bulldog in wrestling. Now, one thing I will say is that you do see something like that in Wing Chun. So I'll give them credit where it is due, just like I have been this entire match. Like that right there was good, and you could say, oh yeah, that's a Wing Chun thing. That guy could very well have learned that from a Wing Chun school. So okay, whatever. You could also learn that in a wrestling school. I literally taught that a couple of weeks ago. You know, either a bulldog or an ice cream scoop. So here again we have MMA guy doesn't really know what he's doing here. He tries to kick out he tried to kick out the leg, and that just gave that just gave Wing Chun dude the guillotine, and he's got an arm in, but we'll see if he can get out of it. And no, he ends up tapping. So again, I don't believe for a second that this dude right here was going to a kung fu ground fighting expert. I don't believe that for a second. This dude has a little bit of wrestling or more likely jujitsu experience, and that's fine. That's totally fine. You don't have to be a purist in anything, and that's all good. Like this dude did very good with that Wing Chun. And this is a really good thing, and it's a really annoying thing. The reason why it's good is because it's cool to see things like that. It's really cool to see him make that style work for him. But what's annoying about it is the fact that I guarantee you in the comment section, everyone is saying, oh, you see, Wing Chun works. Wing Chun works. And it's like, yeah, Wing Chun works for this guy. You know who it doesn't work for? Fucking everybody else. And then in addition to that, when you hear about guys trying to say Wing Chun is perfect for self-defense, they're not talking about what this kid did, which was basically just, we'll go ahead, right? He basically was just using that chain punching sort of thing. What they're talking about in terms of self-defense is usually, okay, all right, you have your arms and you, dispersing hand, you right? That's usually what they're talking about when they say that Wing Chun is actually good for self-defense, or even just like oh, it's good for an MMA fight too. You can use it in an MMA fight. That's what they're referring to. They're not referring to what this kid actually used. They're referring to all the weird little defensive quirks and stuff like that. And that's why for a long time, all you needed to beat a Wing Chun guy was just a jab. Like literally, that was an unsolvable equation in the Wing Chun world. Was how do you counter the most basic fundamental punch in boxing? How? How do you do that? We can't figure it out, and because of that, we get our asses beat all the time. And this kid right here, the way he was able to make it work was with pressure, and was with utilizing the slowness of this dude right here. You're going to see a nice kick. He hit him with a nice kick, but it was slow, and in addition to that, he ended up... You see how he ended up out of position after the fact, right? Wing Chun guy was actually timing the kick, and he ended up swarming after the fact. That was really good for him. That was a really, really good thing on his part. Now, I'm not going to argue with results here, okay? And when I say I'm not going to argue with results, what I mean is I'm not going to do what a lot of Wing Chun guys like to do, and a lot of Chinese martial arts guys and even MMA guys like to do, and sit there and be like, oh, that's not real Wing Chun. That's not real Choi Late Foot. That's not real this. That's not real that. They love doing that. They absolutely they cannot get enough of that sort of thing. They are always looking for a way to try and diminish the losses that occur with their guys, right? That is always what's going on. I'm not going to do that, okay? you can sit here and say whatever you want about Mr. MMA guy. You might be right, you might be wrong. The bottom line is Wing Chun, yeah, I think it won the fight for this guy, but only very specific parts of Wing Chun won this guy the fight. And even then, what actually won the fight for the guy, meaning what actually got the fight to stop and his hand get raised, was a guillotine that he most certainly learned at a jiu-jitsu gym, while doing jiu-jitsu, right? So even here, you could kind of say the same thing where it's like, with the last guy, he barely used any Wing Chun and he won these fights with like submissions that he learned from a jiu-jitsu gym. In this case, this guy won the fight with a little bit more Wing Chun, but the final moment, the final piece of it was still jiu-jitsu. So good for this guy. I think if Wing Chun guys were smart, they would take the hint here. They would look at this and instead of saying, ah, yes, that was a Wing Chun guy and he just beat an MMA guy, that means me doing this whenever somebody throws a fucking jab, that means that works. Instead of them doing that, which they're going to do that, they'll get smart and they'll be like, hey, you know, maybe the chain punch is a good idea. Maybe there's certain things about like if somebody comes running straight at you, like what happens here, right? You're going to see. I'll even go back a little bit further, right? Bang. This kid literally just starts trying to run straight at him with his head down. There are certain things where in Wing Chun they'll be like, oh, yes, block and push him off and go into more, right? That could work depending on the situation. And really, it comes down to timing and pressure and things like that. If they're smart, they'll take the hint. Are they gonna? Probably not. Probably not. Because at the end of the day, Wing Chun, just like a lot of other martial arts out there that are from China, it's more about the tradition. It's more about honoring the master than it is actually knowing how to fight. You know? And they'll tell you. They'll tell you, no, actually, it's a very lethal style of fighting. There were fights on Hong Kong rooftops. Those never happened. There were fights on Hong Kong rooftops, and that's how these things were determined. Bull fucking shit, you know? Oh, excuse me. He won the fight because the guy didn't know how to defend a guillotine. You see, I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to argue with results. I don't want to argue with results because at the end of the day, it's not a good look to argue with results. I do the same thing with jiu-jitsu all the time, right? I don't like how people have basically developed these systems. They've systematized jiu-jitsu where you have people who they specialize in pulling guard into a leg lock, right? Because when they pull guard into a leg lock, that limits the amount of options that the other guy has. And if he goes left, they can do this. If he goes right, they can do that. If he tries to close distance, get away, they know they can do this or that, right? I don't like that because the question remains like, are you good at fighting? Are you good at jiu-jitsu? Or are you just good at that system? You know, it's like me. I'm good at AoE now, but I'm not really good at AoE because all I do is I go Celts on Arena. I get to Castle Age as quick as I can. I get a castle up. I get as many Woad Raiders as I can, and I build 4 rams. I build 4 rams, and I just throw them at the other person's walls, and then they break in, and then it's all over. Because anything that comes near those rams, the Woad Raiders are going to jump out and kill it, and then they're going to jump back in, so the rams are going quicker again, and there's just going to be too much momentum built up on my end. That's the way that I win in AoE now. I'm not good at AoE. I just have a system now, and that's all it is, you know. So like, even though I'm correct, even though I know that I'm correct about jiu-jitsu, I try to avoid saying it too much, right? And this is a situation where like, you know, when I clip this for a video, because chances are I'm gonna make a video out of this, right? I'm not going to clip this part, but I will say, yeah, MMA dude is severely underskilled. All right. Just look at the way he's throwing, right? So he throws that kick, literally just running towards him. Strange strange kick, strange shot, way from the outside, no setup at all. Again, a desperation shot. This kid was just outgunned from the get-go, and it's not because Wing Chun guy was that good. It was because MMA kid was not that good. Like I said, this is off record insofar as when I make the video. I'm not actually going to put this in the video because, like I said, I don't want to argue with results here. I want to be fair about it. Wing Chun guy did a good job. He used Wing Chun to beat somebody. In fact, he used Wing Chun to beat somebody who trains in MMA. The kid hasn't been training for long, but he trains in MMA. He used Wing Chun to beat an MMA guy. Okay, fine, whatever, right? But like that wouldn't work against me because I know better than to just be here standing there and then desperation shot. I know to actually set my shots up. I know not to just sit there while somebody's peppering my forehead with light punches. I know how to actually bait people. I know how to pull trap. I know how to actually throw low kicks that are really gonna matter. That are really gonna fucking matter in a way that Mr. Wing Chun is gonna have a much harder time doing anything about it, right? And anyone who is trained as long as I have is also going to have answers. It's not just that I'm some kind of badass or something like that. No, of course not. It's the experience, right? This kid was inexperienced. The other kid, Wing Chun guy, yeah, a little bit more experienced. In fact, I'd say probably a lot of bit more experienced. And because of that, he ate the less experienced, and also, mind you, trying to find the less experienced and, as you can see, much smaller guy. He ate him alive. That just is what it is. But you got dudes like this, right? It's about Kung Fu, who they just can't help but be like, oh, well, you know what? But this proves that Wing Chun butt touches actually do work. This proves that Wang Chang works. Oh yeah. So we're gonna break this up. Mm. Yeah, this is dark chocolate. Oh. See. Now I really got to be careful with this because that shit's gonna melt and I don't want it to burn. Although the fact that it's you know, the fact that it's I just don't want it to be on the bottom of the pan for too long. So I got to keep on stirring. Keep on stirring. But yeah, there is another video, right? I am a little bit curious about this channel that we saw, right? I'll go ahead. I'll take my eyes off it for just a second, right? I am curious about this dude's shit, right? Real Kung Fu Fight episode 43, Wing Chun versus Muay Thai. Okay. So this is very clearly a dude who's like, oh, actually, Wing Chun is good, right? So it is interesting, and I think it will be good to have. In fact, you know what? I'm curious. I'm gonna subscribe to him because the thing is, even though I have my thoughts and my feelings about like these martial arts and shit like that, I have an open enough mind as to where I'm not gonna be like, oh no, if I do see one of them win. It's like I said, I want to be fair to Mr. Wing Chun in the last video. He was, he did good. Good for him. Hmm. All right. So, Wing Chun guy versus. Oh. So right now, Wing Chun guy is doing a good job at pressuring, but the thing is, he's eating punches that he really should not be eating. You know, I mean, look at that head kick there. You see, again, he's doing a good job at pressuring, right? He's even using those push kicks, those teeps to his advantage. But in the clinch, he doesn't really know what he's doing. He doesn't have a good feel for the clinch. And then in addition to that, he keeps getting bopped. You know, so really it looks like Muay Thai guy is getting beat up, but for one thing, Wing Chun isn't known for its power. And then in addition to that, a lot of those punches are not landing. Ooh, that looked like it was a nice one. It looked like he hit him with an elbow. I could be wrong. But again, you're just like, there's no respect for the power or anything like that. I will say those were a couple of good knees there. Those were a couple of good knees from Wing Chun guy. Looks like they're both getting a little tired. Again, like what Wing Chun guy is doing right is what the last guy was doing. Is he's constantly pressuring. He's not letting up. He's not letting up. Um, you know, and because of that, even though he's not really landing hard right now, he is landing. Muay Thai guy isn't landing the way. Oh, just as I was saying that, he lands. Oh, another couple of good ones. You know, Muay Thai guy for hey, oh man, ah, I was just about to say like Muay Thai dude is was not landing for a little while, but no, he's landing now. He's landing now, and that's what happens when you're in a situation where you're throwing all your punches down here. Even if you're aiming at the head, you ain't got nothing protecting here, and because of that, he's getting absolutely clobbered. Like this is, and we don't know how the fight's gonna end, right? We have no clue how this fight is supposed to end or anything like that. You know, it might be good for the Wing Chun guy, might be bad for the Wing Chun guy. Who knows? Who knows? But um, it, that's not looking as good for him as the dude who posted this might want to believe, because while the Wing Chun guy is pressuring and he's pushing Muay Thai dude back. Wing Chun guy is getting blasted with some serious shots that I don't care that Wing Chun guy is controlling the pace or anything like that. You can't award a round just based off of somebody moving backwards when they're landing those fucking shots, you know? But anyway, let's real quick here. All right, so here we are for round two. And we have some clinch work. I was a little bit impressed with Wing Chun guy's clinch work when he ended up in a Thai plum, but outside of the Thai plum, he isn't really doing a good job. And again, there's that pressure. You know, good for him for keeping that pressure. And he's getting bopped again. And you see, that's what I was talking about with those knees. That was pretty good clinch work with those knees, you know. But unless he is absolutely positively flush in the clinch, he needs to be the one in the Thai plum. It just doesn't work out for him, you know. Like right here, you're gonna see he's kind of powerless. There isn't much that he's able to do, and right now he's just trying to either hold on for dear life or get away. It's one or the other, you know. You see, and one thing that Wing Chun does have for itself is good push kicks. You know, they have good push kicks that a second ago you saw a Wing Chun guy use. Oh, hey. Nice couple of punches from Wing Chun guy, and then there's that pressure again, but then he gets nailed again. I think there was a couple of good punches in there. Oh, hey. You know, it's almost kind of funny because you're seeing Wing Chun guy use those you see that was a good one right there. But I was gonna say he's using those push kicks while Muay Thai dude is moving back, and it's a little bit funny because typically there's no reason to use them in that case. You see, Wing Chun dude getting bopped again. So I mean, this is a good fight regardless, right? Regardless of who wins or loses, and you're seeing both strengths and weaknesses from Wing Chun guy. I don't think that was a knockdown. If they score that as a knockdown, then that would be really, really weird. Interesting. You know what? I'm curious. I'm curious about something, right? Because there's a dude who is very friendly towards Wing Chun. There's a dude who's very friendly towards Wing Chun who's supposed to be giving commentary over this. I want to hear what he has to say about that.
Often screaming for low kicks, and he is trying to throw low kicks and high kicks as well, and that's a knockout. The Wing Chun fighter just
What? Hold on, hold on. I don't know if you guys heard that, right? In fact, you know what? I'll turn it all the way up. That way you can hear. Actually, no. Let's see closed captions. Let's see closed captions, right? Well, and that's a knockout. Is it?
throw low kicks and high kicks as well. Fighter is often screaming for low kicks, and he is trying to throw low kicks and high kicks as well, and that's a knockout. The Wing Chun fighter just kept receiving whatever the Muay Thai fighter has to offer, and he kept on moving forward, and that's what led to this knockout.
No, you see, I wanted to hear it again just to make sure, because I wasn't sure if you said knock down or knock out for a second. It sounded like knockout, but it might have been knocked down. And yeah, no, that is just not. It's simply not. It's not one of those things. It's very clear that Mr. Muay Thai threw a high kick and he fell off balance. And either A, maybe the bell rang because the ref pulled him off, or B, maybe the ref was like, oh, we got to give this dude space to stand back up. He just fell over. You know, let's make sure that this dude isn't going to jump up and then Wing Chun guy is going to jump all over him, because that's what's been happening the whole fight. Is Wing Chun guy has been using aggression to his advantage. He's been using it very well, right? You got to hand it to Wing Chun guy. But that was not a knockout. That was not even a knockdown. So this is just like, I don't know what the hell. I don't know what the hell fucking Pondeep. I don't know what Rajindahar is fucking trying to say here. You know, but that's some bullshit. That's just not true. That was not a knockdown. I guarantee you there was more to this as well, right? Yeah. I'm just curious, right?
They will never realize that traditional martial arts are traditional because people has been using it generation after generation successfully.
Yeah, so it seems as though they awarded a win.
Traditional martial arts are traditional because
it seems as though they awarded a win to Wing Chun guy. I don't know where that came from, right? Maybe it was on points, right? Maybe because here's the thing, right? If this is Muay Thai in Thailand, the rule set with Muay Thai in Thailand is actually not the same as, say, kickboxing in the West or anything like that, right? Part of Muay Thai is literally being able to maintain your stance. And if you are in a situation where you keep getting pushed off balance, they're going to award points to you. Even if you don't land punches or kicks flush, even if what you're throwing doesn't really do the damage that you're hoping it does, if you get someone to stumble, they're going to score that, and they're going to score that pretty damn high. This is why Muay Thai is not that popular worldwide, is because the way they do it in Thailand is frankly boring, and there's certain things about it that are just not actually, like, realistic, if I'm just being honest with you, right? And this is one of the reasons why I sort of stepped away from the whole Muay Thai purist thing, right? Is because I realized we're trying to train so that we can defend ourselves from people, so that if I need to knock somebody out with a punch, I can do that. Why the hell am I going to sit here training jab, jab, cross, cross, jab, cross, cross? Why am I gonna train that, right? I need to train something that is a lot more aggressive, and there are aspects of it that are actually going to lead to knockouts, unlike Muay Thai, right? And I'm not saying that you don't have knockouts with fists in Muay Thai. There's knockouts in Muay Thai all the time. But the rule set, i.e. like kicks being worth 2 points while punches are only worth 1. A 4-point move would be like a sweep or something like that, right? They award points based off of whatever technique you execute. It's just it's it's good for the art side of it. It's good for dudes that are like technicians and things like that. It's good for high flying, really cool moves and stuff like that. But when it comes to actually being able to do like legitimate damage to somebody as soon as possible, it's not as conducive to that. You know, I could sit here, right? You and I could fight. And if I land 100 punches on your head and you land 100 kicks on my leg, you would win. And you wouldn't just win, you would completely smoke me. Because, like I said, a punch is worth 1 point. So I'm blasting the fuck out of you. I'm amazed that you're still alive. You know, I hit you 100 times with my right hand as hard as I can, and you hit me in the leg as hard as you can 100 times, even though you have more brain damage than I do, and my leg will heal, and your head is not going to heal as well as my leg will. You win the fight because that's the rules of Muay Thai. So if this is Muay Thai in Thailand, that explains why Wing Chun guy won, is because of the way that they're scoring this. In addition to that, it probably helps that there's a farang, because this is very clearly a farang or a Westerner, right? It's just like, this one is like, okay, Wing Chun guy did good, but this is in bad faith. What this guy is trying to say, what this guy is trying to act like, is happening. You know, it's just so weird. You know, it's just so weird. Do Wing Chun guys gas out quickly? I don't know. You know, they usually, to this guy's credit, they usually don't take fights that are like this. You know, they usually don't take fights like this. They just sit in their alleyways or wherever the hell they hang out, and they're like, oh, Wing Chun's for the streets. That's what they do. You know, they say Wing Chun's for the streets over and over again, hoping that you're gonna believe it. I'm gonna give this another minute or two to just kind of settle. You know, just kind of sit. Need to make sure I stir it. But overall, right? Overall, the last guy that we saw, he did a good job. This guy, he also did a good job. He did a very good job, but he didn't do a good enough job. And I have a feeling that this is probably in Thailand, and they are probably scoring on a Muay Thai based system. It wouldn't surprise me, you know? Either that or there might be some other weird little thing here. But trying to say that that was a knockout, that this, right? Where was it? Like, yeah, that this was a like, let's go ahead. I don't know if showing it on half speed is even going to help. But let's see, right? So he throws a low kick, and then he tries to come up high. It doesn't work, and he just fell over. The Wing Chun dude didn't even throw anything. He just defended the kick, and this dude fell over. And the referee, seeing that Wing Chun guy was standing right over him, he pulled him off, because Wing Chun guy this entire time has been extremely, extremely aggressive, which, as I said, was working to his benefit. So the referee was probably like, oh, I better get Wing Chun guy away from this dude, because I have a feeling if he's not going to start throwing punches when Muay Thai dude is on the ground, he's probably going to start throwing punches as soon as Muay Thai dude is up. And, you know, you got to make sure he's up, he's good to go, wipe off the gloves, and then be like, all right, fight. So yeah, this is just like, no, just like, shut up, you know, shut the fuck up. Still, like, again, still good for the Wing Chun guy, because he did it the right way. But I don't know what the hell this dude's axe to grind is. But in fact, you know what? Let's see. Let's see. Right. All these comments about how it would be different if it were a Muay Thai champion. Yeah, the difference is that a world champion spends every single day preparing for a fight with endless strength conditioning and sparring. Not only that, but the sparring is unrestricted, allowing for different types of punches and kicks, which helps him recognize the patterns of movement. Yeah, that's true. That's true right there. Very good fight. Yeah, you see, it's funny to see nobody calling that out. It's funny to see nobody calling that out. Don't get me wrong, it's good to see this footage anyway, but it's difficult to make sense without any proper context. Who are the fighters? What's their background and level? When and where does it actually take place? And again, like is nobody gonna call out the fact that there was no actual knockout? Is nobody gonna do? I'm not gonna be the guy to do that. I don't care that much. It's just really fucking weird to me, right? I'm just curious, right? I'm just curious to see what else there is. Pressure points, fake versus real. Oh boy. Chinese wrestling. I just want to see if there's any other. I just want to. Kung Fu weapons. Kung Fu is useless. Kung Fu street fighting real footage. Oh boy. All right. You know what? Fuck it.
A little incident got caught on camera.
I was like, what the hell is this?
On a Chinese
wait, no.
subway. Here we can see a perfect
Hold on. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. All right.
example of Chinese grappling. China. They're speaking Mandarin Chinese for sure. The bully
So
got caught on
apparently
camera
this is supposed to be
on a
Chinese
subway.
grappling.
Here we can see a perfect example of Chinese grappling. China. They're speaking Mandarin Chinese
Chun.
for sure. The bully said, "Zhenmazhou, how are you walking?"
Looks like there's
they got
another
bumped
angle of
into
it.
each other. I don't know what happened. But the passenger replied with a perfect technique of China. In Shaolin 72 China or Chixia China, this technique has a strange name.
Number 32. Turning around heaven and earth.
扭转乾坤
Slow.
Yes, that's the name. However, in different styles of Chinese Kung Fu, same technique is called
No. That's some Aikido level bullshit. You know, that's not actually how that's gonna work. Now, like what this guy could have potentially done is he could have grabbed the arm and then kicked out the leg, right? As he was pulling the arm this way, he could have used his leg in a tripping motion to kick out this other dude's leg. That'd be one thing, right? That'd be one thing. But the idea that it was like, oh yes, I just grabbed the arm and I did that and it worked. No, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. You know, there is a form of Chinese grappling known as shuai jiao, and they have some pretty unorthodox shit in there. It's actually really interesting, and I take a couple of things from shuai jiao shit that I have seen. Excuse me. You know, and I actually official Scott Sullivan prediction here. I actually have a feeling that I actually have a feeling that like in the next 5 to 10 years you're gonna start seeing some shuai jiao shit in the gi grappling world, right? It wouldn't surprise me to see stuff like that because it's an untapped well. And all it's going to take is one guy who's like, oh, yeah, you can also hit single legs like this, too. It's going to be interesting to see that. It's going to be real interesting to see that. But whether this is shuai jiao or not, it's definitely not this fucking shit. You know, that's not how it's working, you know. Kung Fu for real self-defense. Let's go ahead.
an incident got caught on camera.
We'll keep going, right? We'll keep going. Anyway. Oh, yeah, Wicked Radiation. What's going on, man? I don't know if you're still here, you know. Damn, bro, you're suggested right under the trans Dead by Daylight streamers. Oh boy, that's exactly where I want to be.
Where a person attacked a Chinese guy and the Chinese person reacted violently. As you can see, the guy in the blue shirt slapped the Chinese gentleman's face. Now he's approaching aggressively. You can see there is a significant weight difference among these two people. Now the Chinese person is advancing. He is very skinny and apparently his movements are very lousy. His guards are totally down. It doesn't even look that he knows how to fight. But all kicks are not Muay Thai kicks and all punches are not boxing punches. First he blocked the attacker's jab and simultaneously landed a kick. That's a traditional Kung Fu technique. One must
See, that's a kick somebody throws when they're not actually sure of how to throw a kick.
First
Look
he
at
blocked
the
that.
straight up. Maybe he was aiming for the nuts. I don't know. But the thing is, I think if he was actually aiming for the nuts, he would have hit the nuts because of the way this dude's standing. This dude threw a kick that did absolutely zero
attacker's
damage
jab and
because of the way
simultaneously
that it
landed a
landed.
kick.
You know, it
That's a
just didn't
traditional
work.
Kung Fu
Wasn't
technique.
gonna work.
One must train himself to develop that reflex action. The kick wasn't hard enough to stop the attacker. Now the Chinese guy is making distance. Notice his footwork. He is very relaxed and waiting for his opponent to make his move. The attacker is desperate to cover the distance. The Chinese guy used his left hand to block the haymaker and immediately countered with a straight punch. The punch even wasn't very powerful, but it was extremely well timed. Plus the body momentum of the attacker made the impact even harder.
So where again, like where is this a kung fu application? It seems like Pandeep is just taking any Asian dude who wins a fight and trying to say, oh, it's kung fu, it's gong fu, it's gong fu is what it is. So this is like no, that if anything that's some kind of boxing, right? Let's go ahead, just because these are all like a minute long, so I'm like, huh, why don't we watch a couple of them, right?
If two people got engaged in a street fight and both have some extent of fighting skills, an incident got caught on camera and is being circulated on Chinese media. A big guy in yellow was pushing a smaller guy
Oh,
in
yeah.
red. The smaller guy reacted violently as well, and this is how it ended. After a minute of argument, the big guy swept the smaller guy's leg and took him down. The smaller
See, where do they teach that in Wing Chun? Where do they teach that in anything? Right? They teach that in Shuai Jiao and they teach that in Sanda, which are the only versions of Kung Fu. If you even want to call Shuai Jiao Kung Fu, right? Those are the only two versions of Kung Fu that are worth a damn most of the time. And I mean, the way this guy is really trying to pull for things like Wing Chun and stuff like that, I don't think he's pulling for Sanda and Shuai Jiao that way, right? I think he's more thinking, oh, this is a Tai Chi thing, is what this is. This is Tai Chi. This is Shaolin Long Fist is what it is. Aha, that's what it is. It's Long Fist. Um, giving him that long fist there. It's just like no, like shut up, you know. And again, it's almost not even worth it trying to argue with somebody like this. I'm just telling you guys what this is. Like chances are these dudes, because both of them seemed pretty coordinated and like they actually knew what they were doing. Chances are they were both trained in probably Sanda. Given here, right? You see, they start throwing punches and kicks at each other. They straight up squared up with each other. They squared up with each other, right? They're throwing kicks at each other.
and kicked the other guy's head. Now he's back on his feet again. The bigger guy kicked.
It's a nice teep, but it gets caught. Then he gets taken down. Again, that is textbook Sanda right there. Kicking a dude in the head when he's on the ground, not quite part of the rule set, but that is textbook Sanda, is catch a kick and then use it for a dump or a sweep or something like that, you know? And thank you very much, Thrill Me. Thank you so much, man, for the $5. Scott Gregg is boxing Jimmy on January 11th. Will you referee or be a commentator? Thanks. Great year streaming. Thank you, man. Thank you everybody who's been here this year. It's been a really great year, you know? And hopefully 2025 is also going to be a great year too. But yeah, I mean, I'll probably end up streaming. Hold on. I'll stream for it, you know. I can't make it down to Tennessee just to referee a fight. As much as I'd love to go down there and hang out with those guys, I got too much shit going on. You know, but I will stream for it, especially if it's on a night where I would typically stream. If not, I'll react to the footage, you know, and it'll be good, you know. Yeah, I just hope everything goes good. I just hope everything goes good, you know. Anyway.
A little incident got caught on camera on the streets of China. A group of friends had been hanging out on the streets at night. Suddenly a man appeared with a huge knife in his hand, and a young man handled the situation like a pro. The first aspect of self-defense is situational awareness. The guy in black was aware of his surroundings. That's how he noticed the attackers and reacted quickly. First, he made the distance. Rather than grabbing the knife hand, he chose to grab the body and swiftly go behind the attacker. Now he is out of the reach of the
I
knife.
gotta be honest with you.
Into a neck lock, took the opponent down and controlled his open hand with full body weight. His friends also came as backup. In traditional Chinese Kung Fu, grappling is an essential part known as chinna. This type of locks are called chin chinna or neck grabbing. The technique that young man used is a variation of bi chi or sealing the breath. The rest didn't go very well for the attacker. This should
That's
be
not
a
what
very good
happened.
lesson for him and for everyone else who thinks Kung Fu is...
First off, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like this kind of seems staged to me. Now, the reason why is because I mean, just look at how everything goes, right? Just look at the way these guys are just chilling. They're doing their thing, right? Okay. I'm gonna mute this, right? See how specifically black shirt is like, what? Right? You see how he's like, what? He turns around and he's like, what? Right? And then you see how this dude runs up. If he was really trying to go with these guys in earnest, he would have been swinging. First off, he didn't swing at all. First off, but if he was really trying to go with those guys for real, he wouldn't have gotten there and then just moved forward like this. He would have actually been swinging to hit those dudes. He would have gone for one of them in a real way. This honestly just looks looks fake. It looks fake to me, you know? Like, I'm curious what happens next. Like, you see the double windup, you see the windup that he runs in with, and then he sets and goes into a double windup. That to me just says, no, this is not actually true. This is not really what is. It's just not what they're trying to say it is. You know, bottom line. Hi Ecuador, I'm making hot chocolate. I'm trying to make hot chocolate anyway. Yeah. I think it's going to come out good. I haven't tried it yet. It's because I'm watching these things. Anyway. Yeah. So this right here is like, okay, where is the actual Kung Fu application? What I saw there was a form of wrestling, right? We use moves like that in wrestling. And then on top of that, again, it just looks fake. This right here, okay. They're not actually hitting this dude. They're not actually trying to hit this dude. Like this doesn't look real. Like that's the worst thing that I've seen, and it's like I don't know. Is this part of a movie? Is this part of a skit? Maybe these guys are all just that uncoordinated, but like regardless, where is the kung fu? Like maybe this is real. Maybe this is real, right? This guy what is this guy talking about, bro? That's insane. We'll take a look at these two. We won't even bother watching the 3-minute one. Actually, maybe we will just for the sake of it.
On camera in a Chinese subway station. A police officer.
Wait, what?
An incident got caught on camera in a Chinese subway station.
An incident got caught in Canada. Got caught on camera in a Chinese subway station.
A police officer on duty noticed that a man with a huge machete was approaching. He tried to communicate with the guy, but the person without warning started hacking with the machete. The officer was equipped with a riot control shield.
Yes, his kung fu shield.
He chose to throw the shield away and subdue the guy with his bare hands. Other officers came as backup, and one of them secured the machete. Let's watch it again in slow motion. First, the officer used his shield to block the machete attack, but then
that's not kung fu. Shut up.
An incident got
like this guy started off so promising with his channel, where it's like, oh, he's actually showing some kung fu that's not terrible. He's showing some kung fu that's not terrible. Is it great? I wouldn't say it's great, but it's not terrible. That's a start. And now here we are. And now here we are with it. And it's like, what is going on, dude?
On camera on the streets of China, when one gentleman demonstrated some great kung fu skill in a real fighting situation. I don't know the background story. I only decided to make a content out of it because of this beautiful head kick followed by a hook. Let's watch the whole incident once again in slow motion. First, the guy in your
I'm just curious, right? Again, not kung fu. It's just not. Police kung fu in action. Okay.
Apart from armed police division, normally police do not carry any firearms. Though
yeah, this right here is absolutely like this is confirmed fake. This right here is confirmed fake. Right? He purposefully was holding that right there. Like this was a skit set up to make the Chinese police look cool, is what it was. They literally set up a skit as like a propaganda thing to be like, haha, our police force is so good.
Normally, Chinese police do not carry any firearms. Therefore, rather than shooting people, you will see some fine examples of traditional Kung Fu techniques application. I have posted several traditional Kung Fu
You see, again, right? This is the same thing. You see all these spectators here just hanging out, having a good time.
traditional Kung Fu techniques application. I have posted several traditional
Anytime they hold something out, like and that's when the guy is like, oh, time to go for him. Yeah, that's how you know it's fake.
Kung Fu fights video before.
Now this
very
right here is
fancy
like, okay, this looks real.
wrestling, joint lockings, and ground fighting. I made a full video on Kung Fu ground fighting and how it is taught to the police. Here is an example. Another of my previous content, I showed a real-life knife disarming. Actually, it was not a knife; it was a machete using a traditional China lock. Dangerous but not impossible.
I'm curious. I'm curious about because we're going down the rabbit hole here. I guess we're going down the fucking rabbit hole here. I'm curious about kung fu ground fighting. Kung fu ground fighting. All right.
In 1935, a book was published from Police Academy of Zhejiang Province, written by Liu Jinsheng. The English translation of the book was published in Shanghai 1936. The name of the book is Chin Na Fa, Grappling Methods. Let's look at some of the techniques mentioned in the book. Yes, Na Fa, grappling.
You see what that says? Skill of catch and hold. The reason why it says that is because this is literally just catch as catch can wrestling, which is a form of European wrestling, a form of Western wrestling, really American, right? Wrestling. That's where it really it got big, and that's why we have the WWE here, is because pro wrestling was originally based off of catch wrestling, or as I called it, catch as catch can. I have no idea why they decided to call it that. Beats the hell out of me, but so this right here is just like, oh, so a Chinese dude who knows a little bit of catch wrestling made a book to try and instruct other people. Good for him. Fantastic. Cool. Not kung fu. Sorry.
Methods. Let's look at some of
In fact, it's literally European. It's literally European. Technically American, but you know, European descent.
Techniques mentioned in the book. Yes, ground fighting has always been a part of Chinese grappling or Chinna. In Kung Fu, it is called Di Fa or ground method. 46 years before the publication of this book, another book was published from Asiatic Society Japan, Transactions of Asiatic Society of Japan, Volume 16 in 1889. In this book, there is a research article written by Reverend Thomas Lindsay and Jigoro Kano, the founder of Kodokan Judo himself. In this book, it is clearly mentioned that another term for jiu-jitsu was Kenpo, which is the Japanese term for Chuan Fa. Chuan Fa, or method of fist, is the unarmed fighting method of Kung Fu. A Chinese man named Qin Genping came to Japan and he met 3 Ronins, masterless warriors. He told the warriors...
Yeah, so this is some weird shit, right? Where they're trying to be like, oh, well, you see, actually everything comes from China, no matter what. I'm just curious. Let's see about this, right?
This is a police academy of modern China. Their hand-to-hand combat technique is known as police Kung Fu, which is a modern hybrid Kung Fu system. They have forms, they have sanda, and they have a huge number of ground fighting or Difa techniques. There are several styles of Kung Fu which has high emphasis on ground fighting, like Fujian Dishu Chuan.
So that right there works. This right here works.
Li Jia Chuan of Sichuan province, Di Tang Chuan.
I mean, that's a guard pull,
those
you know?
Which does not have high emphasis on ground fighting, still have some ground fighting techniques for emergencies. For a civilian in a real-life fighting situation, ground is the last place they should be, because an attacker can...
I think it's interesting that he seems to be wearing wrestling shoes, too. That's a cute little thing there.
Fighting still have some ground fighting techniques for emergencies, because an attacker can carry weapons or he might have an accomplice. But police works in team and they can always call for backup. That is why ground fighting is more useful tactics for them. Because a police officer needs to know how to seize a suspect without causing much physical damage. Once they took the opponent down and seize his body, there will be backups, there will be his teammates.
This dude's like he must be like a China weeaboo or something like that. Vic says Vic says this accent is unbearable. Yes, very much so. Very fucking much so, dude. It is a bonkers. It is a bonkers. But yeah, so that was an interesting little thing. Some Wing Chun nerd decided he wanted to word vomit at me, and he included that video. It was a good video. It was a good video, and I don't know. Fuck it. Whatever. Who cares? Whatever. Who cares? It's annoying because like I'm tired of Wing Chun dudes who are like they want to try and be like literally. Let's go ahead and look at this, right? Like, evening, sir. What did you knock on my fucking door, you idiot? Evening, sir. Shut up. Just say what you feel like you need to say. Don't. This is ridiculous. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, technically 11 and a half lines of cope just to show me a video that kind of sort of is okay, but there's still plenty of things about it that you could say that take away from what is even being shown there in the first place. And then you're going to sit there and try and be like, oh, well, actually, you see, Wing Chun is good. And it's like, yeah, against who? Fucking, you guys for a long ass time have been trying to argue that you can beat MMA guys, and when you finally beat an MMA guy, it's with a fucking guillotine that you're not learning from a Wing Chun master. Either that or the Wing Chun that you use is against a guy who is very, very clearly not actually fucking he's not he doesn't know what he's doing, he's not very well trained. And it is what it is. It is what it is. Whatever. Who cares? But it's just I just can't stand nerds. I can't stand nerds that are trying to act like they're being friendly. There's just something about it that's very Reddit to me. That's a very Reddit thing, is to start a YouTube comment saying "Evening, sir." It's like fucking A, dude. It's like if you guys have ever seen The Last Dragon, right? It's like I don't know if it's blaxploitation. It might be, but it's a movie from like the 80s or something like that, and there's this black dude who like he is like really like he's like the first weeb is the only way I could describe him. And like he has a kung fu master who's just like a normal dude. He just happens to be Asian. And fucking this dude, his name's Leroy Green. He talks like this. But master, are you on a quest for knowledge? He talks like that. He walks around with his hands behind his back, like that type of shit. And he's just like like I said, the first weeaboo, except it's for China. And that's what a lot of these Western kung fu nerds talk like. And it's so funny and it's kind of cathartic because there's multiple points in the movie where he just gets clowned on, whether it's by other black people or if it's by Asian dudes who are like, what's this guy's fucking deal? He's walking over. Hello, sir. I'd like to inquire as to where your master is. And it's just like some regular ass like Chinese dudes who like they work in a warehouse or something like that. It's like, holy fuck. Like, that's the type of shit that I can't stand from these kung fu nerds. Is like, just be a fucking regular guy who does Wing Chun. I did a little Wing Chun years ago. It was mixed with a bunch of other stuff, but I did a little Wing Chun. I learned it from an Israeli dude, believe it or not. It's like if I walked around going, sweaty cop, sweaty cop, sweaty cop. Fucking imagine if I started doing that. She's in Thailand right now. She visits Thailand for a while every year. I started doing private lessons with this Thai chick. Imagine if I was like, "Oh, you're Thai? Swadika. Haha, ha. Oh, haha." Like imagine I'm sitting here whining to her, I'm telling her, "Why crew?" Like what the that'd be fucking crazy, But you got these weirdos who like they post wall texts and they spell Wing Chun Wing Tsun. They spell it that way, and it's just like, you're so fucking lame, dude. You make yourselves unlikable. Like I'm not even like I said, we've been off record for a while. I've just been talking mad shit. Like I said, I have my video that I'm gonna make with that original video. I'm just talking shit now. Like these guys, they're always so full of cope, and they're always trying their best to seem like they're fucking Confucius, when really all they are is confused. And it's so frustrating dealing with them. And you can show them example after example after example after example of Wing Chun guy getting kicked in the head and fucking dying. You can show them example after example after example of that, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, well, that's not real Wing Chun," or "Oh, well, I mean, he didn't pak sao well enough." They're gonna say shit like that, and it's like I said, with videos like what I saw on that guy's channel, where the Wing Chun guys actually did pretty well. It's a really cool thing to see, but it's really an annoying thing to see as well, because fucking like Wing Chun dudes are gonna be like, oh, all the guys that got their asses beat, they don't matter anymore. It doesn't matter that those guys got their asses beat, because it doesn't matter those guys got their asses beat because when there was one example, a single example of a Wing Chun guy not getting killed, and it's not even that he did that good of a job. It's that he just didn't get beat up as bad as he normally would. And there was some weird shit. Anyway, we're gonna try this. We're gonna try this. We're gonna try this. We're gonna try this. Hold on. I wanna like show you guys kind of what it looks like a little bit. It's a little light still. Oh fuck. Oh damn it. It's a little light still, as you can see, But I think it'll be all right because it's got 2 bars of chocolate in it, and then it's got I think like 6 cocoa powders in it. So yo, that is fantastic. Holy shit. Wow. Baby. Hold on. I gotta get my wife to try it. I'm a wandering Jeet Kune Do master who goes around and challenges random dojo owners that practice different martial arts. I watched a Bruce Lee movie once. Exactly. Fucking, it's so stupid. It's so fucking dumb, Bird only got 15K. Damn, that's pretty crazy. I'll be right there.
Peraí, um segundo, vou cortar um pouquinho. I like it.
It's really good.
Good.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah. Putting the chocolate bars in it was a smart move. Sure. Did you want more? Or?
No,
There's
'cause
plenty more, obviously.
No, but I just ate.
Damn, that's so good, man. Holy shit. Holy fuck, man. Yeah, so what I did was I took half and half. All right. I didn't just use milk, although I'm sure milk would still be good, but half and half is creamier, so it's nicer. Half and half with fucking I took 6 of these and I threw it in. It's not obviously it's not 6 of them in here. It's 6 of them inside the entire pot. And then I took 2 bars of chocolate. One of them had caramel in it, and I threw them in and I let them melt. I stirred it up. And this is some of the best hot chocolate that I've ever had, easy.
It's from Lucas.
Oh, interesting. Did you rinse this out? All right, cool. Sorry, I gotta stir it a little bit. No, it's okay. How do you celebrate Christmas at home? From what I understand, Brazilians don't celebrate. Brazilians celebrate. You know, I don't think it's a nationality thing. I think it's probably it's probably a religion thing. You know, meaning a sect or a denominational thing. A denominational thing. You know, it's funny because one of the kids in my class doesn't celebrate Christmas, and I didn't know that until I mentioned it, and he's like, I don't celebrate it, and I was just like, oh, all right, that sucks. That sucks, man. You know, Christmas is great. Yeah, like Christmas has been secularized and stuff like that, and that's not cool, right? Christmas is supposed to be about Jesus, but um, it's still a you know, it's I think Jesus would want us to love our family and want to be around our family. I think Jesus would want us to be able to give our family gifts and celebrate with each other, you know? Now, again, this is give gifts, but also venerate Christ, you know? Venerate Christ first, give gifts, give gifts second, right? Excuse me. But it's like, you know, you guys get what I'm saying. Anyway, somebody said some. Oh yeah, it was Snurf G who said that. Bird only getting 15K. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like here's the thing. Bert, he's trying to turn his life around, I guess, and that's really good for him. And I really, really hope that he's able to do that. And I hope that he doesn't go back to the well, because it's really, really easy for an OnlyFans girl to go back to the well. And it would be really, really easy for Bert to go back to the well, because insofar as male fetishists, Bert is like the female of male fetishists, meaning when it comes to porn, you get paid based off of whether you're bringing the hole or not. All right. If you bring the dick, you ain't getting paid that much. If you bring the hole, though, you're getting paid significantly more. You know, significantly more. And I'm sure there's no shortage of white dudes in the gay community that want to make porn. But black dudes who are into that weird racial fetish shit, there's probably not as many of those as there are white dudes who are looking to get dommed by them. So because of that, it's probably easier for him to make money in that world than it is for certain other people, right? Just like it's easier for women to make money in porn than it is for men. But what happens with a lot of OnlyFans girls, I mean, this is what happened with Mia Khalifa. You know, she leaves the porn industry and then she starts up a fucking OnlyFans. You see a lot of women who, if they are able to make money on OnlyFans, they decide they're going to quit. And then their answer to quitting and having to part ways with a significant chunk, if not the only chunk of money that they end up getting, their response to that is either A, to like try and find another way to make money, whether it's working a job or some other thing, but it just doesn't work, so they go back to OnlyFans, or it's a situation where you know, it's a situation where fuck, I lost my train of thought. I feel like an idiot for that. I lost my train of thought. You know, they. Oh yeah. No, I remember what I was gonna say. Like what you have with a lot of these OnlyFans chicks is they quit and they try and get another grift. They try and find another grift, and this is what you're seeing. Pearl Davis has been talking a lot about this. You know, my second wife, my future second wife, Pearl Davis. We're gonna have 6'5" Irish warrior babies. Is what we're gonna do. Like she you know, she's been kind of on a crusade about that over the last couple of days, where she's been talking about, hey, like, if you were an OnlyFans chick, you don't just get to say you're saved and then everything's all good, you know? I don't know exactly where she's going with it. I don't know what her point is exactly, but I agree with it insofar as a lot of these women, they decide they're going to go from OnlyFans to being like a conservative commentator or something like that. And they're going to turn around and be like, I found Jesus. Yay. And that's not how it works, you know. They're just grifting. And when you have that OnlyFans to Christian influencer thing that seems to be happening a lot lately, you're still an OnlyFans girl. You're not a Christian. You're still an OnlyFans girl. You're just keeping your clothes on now. You know, um, you're still making money off of the fact that you were an OnlyFans girl. The only way to truly be contrite, the only way to truly repent in that situation is to delete as much of your stuff as possible, stop making money off of it, and then leave the internet. Just leave the internet unless you're going to become a legitimate advocate for people resisting that type of stuff. No, not a conservative influencer who talks about how Jesus saved you and now you're doing the sex offender shuffle, except for OnlyFans girls. You know, we were bad and but now we're good, right? That shit. You keep like no, like you can't, you know. You can't do it that way because that's not actually repenting. You're still making money off the fact you're an OnlyFans girl. It's just now you're going in the opposite direction with it, where it's not that you're taking your clothes off. You're now saying, "Hey, I was an OnlyFans girl." You know, it's kind of almost like a Jocko Willink. Sam talks about this every now and again. His big thing was that he got his squad killed in fucking Iraq or something like that. And he wrote a book about it, and it became a bestseller. And he was able to platform off of that. He was able to launch himself off of that. And it's like you're using the death of your boys as a means to get famous. You know, you're using your former degeneracy. Talking about the OnlyFans girls, you're using your former degeneracy to try and make money, and that's not cool. You know, you might as well just be using the degeneracy to make that money. That's so damn good, man. I need more. I need a second cup. Seriously, make it this way. It's easy. It's just fucking melting shit. You know, that's all it is. It's so easy to make. You guys are missing out if you don't make this. But yeah, I was talking about Bert, right? I was talking about Bert, and as usual, I kind of trailed off into another topic. You know, as I'm only occasionally known to do. Anyway, when it comes to Bert, I sincerely hope that he's able to get his shit together. I really, really hope that he's able to put his life on track to being more respectable. That's why I wasn't really a big fan of him throughout the season, is because, I mean, he's a clear sex pest. You know, clear sex pest. And I think it comes from the fact that he is very autistic. I think that's really what it is. I think that given the situation that he's in with all these people that are constantly wanting to film porn and stuff like that, he's being groomed. You know, he quite literally was groomed into being the sex pest that he is, and he's partially a victim. He's partially a victim. I'm not saying he is the victim, right? But he's partially a victim of that grooming of these fucking weirdos who they're in this little kink world where they're like, hey, everybody, let's fuck everybody all the time. Ha ha. And I think that's part of the reason why he ended up the way that he was. But I just really, really hope that he doesn't feel like he has to go back to the well. I really, really hope that he is actually going to get his shit together. You know, I hope he gets the implants out. I didn't know he confirmed that he has implants. I didn't know he confirmed that. I hope he gets the implants out. I hope maybe he starts actually lifting weights and actually boxing and stuff like that. And I hope that he is sort of able to turn himself around. And I hope he doesn't go back to the well of, well, you know, they want to pay me $1,000 to get my dick sucked for 15 minutes. So, all right, I guess, you know. You know, it ain't good for the soul. It's corrosive. And, you know, I think, I don't see Bird as an enemy, right? I don't see Bird as an enemy. There's people out there that I see as enemies, you know. I don't think Bert is one of those guys. I think Bert is just ignorant. And you know, he had a bit of a light bulb moment on the show, and he's like, you know, maybe I should really fucking get my shit together there, and that's really really good for him, you know. Um, but like, because he's not my enemy, because I don't see him as an enemy, it's a lot easier for me to pray for him, right? And I don't mean that in like the cringe way where it's like I'll pray for you, right? No, I mean like genuinely, like I've prayed for Bert a couple of times, if I'm being honest with you. Um, you know, I pray to God and I hope that God blesses him with the wisdom and the strength to make the right choices when they come his way. Um, you know, but it's good to pray for stuff like that, you know. Don't pray for yourself, pray for other people. I think Sam told him not to box, presumably because he's so unathletic and uncoordinated that he'd get hurt quick. Um, well, I mean, like if you box, you'll become more athletic and more coordinated. If Sam told him not to box, there was probably there was probably a real reason for that, you know. Unless if it was that reason, then what Sam is probably afraid of is that Bert's gonna walk in and they're gonna be like, let's bully the fucking autist. Haha. Hey, yeah, sure, it's sparring day, bud. Yeah. Oh, it's your first day here. What was your name? Brad. Oh, Bert. Bert. Okay, yeah. Well, it's sparring day, so go ahead and jump in the ring, right? Maybe he's afraid of something like that, but other than that, I don't think it would have been because Bert's unathletic. Like the way you become athletic is by doing athletic activity. That's just what it is, you know. Athleticism isn't a trait; it's a skill, and you can work on it and get better, or you can not work on it and stay the same, or who knows, maybe even potentially get worse, depending. I would assume if I had to guess another reason, I would assume maybe it's the mental illness thing. Like I don't think Bert needs to know how to hurt people. You know, I think as soon as that ran into my head, I was like, yeah, you know, maybe Bert doesn't need boxing. Maybe Bert doesn't need to know boxing. Maybe you know, maybe he should just not box, right? But like overall, I was thinking like, oh, huh, like Bert is yeah. Maybe Sam is legit afraid Bert starts boxing and then he starts like knocking people out. You know, maybe he's afraid of that. Maybe you meant it in regards to actually taking fights. Maybe, maybe. You know, I've had a couple of people who I'm like, "Yo, you should learn to box," and they're like, "Oh, dude, I'm too old for that fucking shit." And it's like, I don't mean fight, dude. I don't mean fucking fight, man. Fucking don't take fights. You know, me like I wanted to be in the UFC one day. You know, and for multiple reasons that I'm not. I'll save you guys the details. I'll try to avoid veering off into a random direction. But for multiple reasons, that's probably not going to happen. It could happen, depending on how I play it out. It could happen, but it's most likely not going to. You know, it just is what it is. If you had talked to me when I was 19, 20 years old, that was the goal. That was it. That was a goal. Nothing else, you know? But now, I wouldn't want my kids to fight. If my kids came to me and they were like, Dad, I want to fight, I'd be like, are you sure? Are you really sure? I can't talk you out of it? Okay, fine. I'll get you ready for a fight. You know, I'd do that. But I'm not going to be the guy who's like pushing his son into martial arts to fight. My son and or daughter and or daughters or sons, they are going to do martial arts. They're going to know how to protect themselves. If they get good enough by the time they go away to college or they do whatever they're doing and they decide, you know what, like whatever, I ain't doing this fucking martial arts thing anymore. If they're good enough, I'll give them their black belt. You know, Hoist Gracie got his black belt at the age of 17. Now you can't do that according to the IBJJF, but fuck the IBJJF. Who gives a shit about them? They suck. Fuck the IBJJF. I don't care about them, you know? Literally does not matter to me at all. Like sport jujitsu assholes trying to be like, oh, you can't be under 18 and have a black belt. Meanwhile, Hoist Gracie, the guy who put jiu-jitsu on the map, got his black belt at age 17. Yeah, okay. My kid'll be better than Hoist Gracie was at the age of 17. If if I have anything to say about it. No, but jokes aside, and you see, like I said, I was gonna try and avoid veering off. But overall, fighting is like the last thing that I mean when I tell someone, "Hey, you should do martial arts." That's like the very last thing that I mean. I've never gone to somebody and said, "You should do martial arts," thinking, "Oh, we're gonna get him a fight." No, never. I've never asked somebody to fight. I've said, "Oh yeah, if you wanted to fight, like, let me know. Talk to me. Talk to my coach, and we'll have a conversation and we'll get it figured out." But that's completely and totally up to you. I'm never gonna go to you and say you should fight. That's the closest thing to telling someone to fight that I've ever gotten to. What's going on, Renowned? Yes, it's Wing Chun and hot chocolate. I made some bomb ass hot chocolate, dude. And I'm gonna tell you the recipe right now. Half and half. All right, like half and half, like the shit you put in your coffee. Get one of the gallon ones. Get one of these bad Larrys, right? Throw it in a pot. Throw in 6 or however many you want of those like hot chocolate powder packages, right? The Swiss Miss things. And then take 2 chocolate bars, all right, and throw them in there and let it all warm up and melt together. And it is gonna be some of the best shit you've ever had. Like, I'm gonna struggle to not finish this off. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna struggle to not finish this off because this is just so fucking good. I mean, look at that shit. That's fantastic, dude. Is it snowing by you? Yes, it is. In fact, I'm curious. The snow stopped, but yeah, it snowed pretty much all day today. So that was nice. I like the snow when it's coming down. When it's on the ground, I'm like fuck. But when it's coming down, it's beautiful. I love the hell out of it. Anyway, his wife used Brazilian instinct and drifted all the way home. That's probably what she did. We almost had to end the stream early because of that. All right. We're gonna watch this. We're gonna watch this. This cartoon. Watch later. Oh no, wait, no. I need to go to playlists. So, this right here. African Story Soviet Cartoon 1963 with English subtitles, okay? I couldn't tell you what this is going to be about, all right? I watched the first minute or so of it, and we're going to go ahead, we're going to watch it because I find stuff like this to be interesting, I can't stand commies. Fuck commies. But like, it is fun to kind of see how the other half lived in terms of like, in the modern day North Korea. I've talked about how I'm fascinated by them, and then also like the Soviet Union. It's fun to see stuff like that. I believe Khrushchev may have been in power at this time. If not, it was whoever came after him. I forget who came after him, but it went Stalin. And then there was like a brief power struggle that ended up with what's his face, Khrushchev, and then like I said, I forget who came after him. All right, I'm gonna have another half cup of this. You know what? So there's subtitles. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna move up to here. And I'm going to take the tip ticker off so that you guys can read the subtitles. Okay, so that you guys can read the subtitles. Soviet Cartoon Studio. It's funny how Cyrillic, because a lot of the letters are the same. Not like literally the same. Like this M right here, I guarantee you it's not an M sound, and this Y right here is probably not a Y sound. But like, it almost feels like you could read it. It almost feels like you're just looking at the Matrix like code, and you're like, I feel like I can fucking figure this out. I feel like I can figure it out, dude. What the hell, It's cool peering into the Soviet Union. Feels like a weird alternate reality. We basically advanced at the same rate as them, but on different trajectories. Exactly. That's what's so interesting about it, you know? Huh. Are you guys not seeing the... There's supposed to be subtitles. Are you guys not seeing the subtitles? No, there's no subtitles up right now, so you're not going to see them because they're, you know, they're not there, but you get the idea.
Жил
You're good.
черный человек на своей земле. Щедро давала она свои плоды ему, ибо трудился он на ней в поте лица своего, как трудились и отец его, и дед, и прадед.
Yeah, that's how it goes over there. I love that it's practically in the style of hieroglyphics. That's funny to me, you know. We was pharaohs. Zachary, this is a Soviet cartoon. Cupping. Damn, he working the nuts, dude. He working the balls, bro. Just 20 minutes of establishing shots. Like, we get it. It's a fucking African dude, alright? We fucking get it. Renowned, send me a if you can send that to me on Twitter or something like that, I'd appreciate it.
Появился некий гость.
Yo, what? Hold up.
Гость.
Yo. Oh, fuck, man. Dude, aura unmatched. Fucking incomparable. How are you gonna tell me this is the bad guy right here? How are you gonna tell me this is the fucking bad guy? You get out of my face right now, bro. That aura, nah. This is the good guy. I don't give a fuck what you tell me next. You could not tell me a damn thing. If you told me this dude kicked puppies, I'd be like, well, maybe the puppies deserved it.
Гость растрогался. Какая богатая земля. Мне чертовски повезло, что я здесь первый из зверей.
Winston's. Oh man, fucking Winstons. Dude, there's something about Winstons. Fucking, I smoked Winstons a couple times in my life, and they were just like they tasted like old people. And I don't know, maybe that's why they were that popular back in 1963. You know, like Winston, Pall Mall, like those are like old people cigarettes. Cools, fucking Cools. Before Newports, before Newports were a thing, you had Cools. You know, and the same demographic of people, Latinos. Yeah, that's who. They smoked Cools before they smoked Newports. They smoked Cools.
Посмотри, человек, не слишком ли бесцеремонен твой гость?
А, черт.
He really hit him with the, yo, where the white women at? Holy fuck, man. This is just too good. This is fucking amazing. I think this might be the best thing I've ever seen. Holy fuck, man. You're like, oh shit, hell yeah. Give me a white bitch. Give me a white bitch.
Пока человек увлеченно приобщался к высокой цивилизации, слон сожрал все, что мог. А так как пошел дождь, то настала очередь хижины. Человек обрадовался, что высокий гость лично посетил его скромное жилище. Но у слона были свои планы.
It's gonna eat the hut too?
Ты удивлен, что так получилось, человек? Погоди.
I mean, to be fair, like, you like, how are you even sleeping in that hut? How did you sleep in that thing? Because like laying down, you're taller than the hut is wide. How are you, like, how'd you live in there? If we're just being honest here, I mean, what did you expect to happen, man?
Господин слон сейчас тебе все объяснит.
Видишь ли, парень, твоя черная кожа покрепче моей, да и здесь нет места для двоих, так что оставайся там, а я тут. И скучай.
Скучай. Бабка.
Что тут происходит? Спросил неожиданно появившийся лев. Он отнял у меня хижину. Как ты смеешь клеветать на моего лучшего друга? Под суд!
Вот ты уже и под судом, человек.
Слово потерпевшему, объявил председатель лев.
He never left the hut.
Господин председатель, уважаемые господа, я глубоко тронут вашим горячим желанием защитить меня от грубых нападок моего отца.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, all right. Okay.
моего черного друга. Благодарю вас. Благодарю. Но, господа, прошу вас, будьте снисходительны к бедному черному человеку. Ему надо терпеливо объяснить, что в обмен на щедрые дары нашей цивилизации он обязан отдать то, что у него есть. Плоды, хижину, землю, а не вызывать возбуждение безответственными протестами.
What's he supposed to be saying? Oh, that's a nice little touch there. They throw in the they throw in the that's interesting, huh?
Именем высокого и авторитетного суда. Обвинение.
Человек, слушай же решение суда.
Умышленное нападение на господина слона. Присвоение имущества господина слона. Сигарет и журналов. Виновен.
Решение наверняка будет справедливым.
Попытка вломиться в хижину.
Ведь господа звери известны как беспристрастные джентльмены. Издавна самим Богом призваны охранять интересы низших рас.
Виновен по всем пунктам и заслуживает самого строгого наказания. Но, учитывая отсталость и дикость человека, суд считает возможным на первый раз простить его и разрешить ему построить себе новую хижину.
Вот видишь, какие доброжелательные судьи. Сама справедливость.
He just absolutely fucking no like stepping onto the fucking thing, just pop. So there it is. Dude, where are these guys coming from?
Что же ты теперь будешь?
Because that's how it happened. Because that's definitely how it happened when the animals, quote unquote, came in. They took the huts. They decided they were going to live in the huts. They didn't build infrastructure. They didn't build buildings, railroads. They didn't bring commerce to the place. They didn't improve the lives of anybody. They just ruined the lives of the people who were living in huts before. That's what happened. That's what happened.
Делать? Хорошо еще, что они не стали судить тебя за новые преступления. Воистину, они к тебе доброжелательны. А может быть, ты действительно виновен? Виновен в том, что не похож на них. виновен в том, что это твоя земля. Ведь надо же что-то делать.
И человек решил действовать. Вот вам новая хижина. Одна на всех.
Let's see if I burn that thing down. Oh, damn. Not the elephant.
Ну а теперь...
Oh, damn. He really is about to burn that shit down. Holy fuck, man. Oh, damn. Yo.
Дорого обошлось человеку знакомство со звериной цивилизацией. Но зато он многое понял и многому научился.
The end. Low calorie gaming. What's the moral of the story? Don't let the Bolsheviks get in your house. Yeah, pretty much. See, it seems like it. Fucking, how are you? Says, yo, what the fuck is this? This is an African story, Soviet cartoon. 1963 is apparently when this came out, and it's interesting to me because they used I think it's funny how they used animals, right? And the reason they probably did that is because this is very clearly, right? This is very clearly meant to be an anti Western African cartoon thing, right? I guarantee you they made it that way specifically because at this time in history, there was a lot of fighting going on in Africa where, you know, you had communist groups, guerrilla groups, and anti-communist groups, as well as even in a few cases, European governments that were involved. They were fighting. They probably ended up using animals specifically because they wanted to be very careful about using white people because Russians are white people. You know, at least most of them are. They are of European descent. So they wanted to make sure they didn't make it into like a black-white thing. They wanted to make it into a human versus animal thing. And of course, the animals are all different forms of capitalists or some other thing like that, like the church, for instance. So it's funny how they were like, oh yes, we want to make cartoon with anti-Western imperial capitalist dog message, but if we use the white man, like they were clearly sitting there like that to some degree. That really is so good, but I can't drink any more of it. It's actually filling. The hot chocolate is filling because it uses the half and half. It's anti-Orwellian, alluding to Animal Farm, maybe. Yeah, I don't necessarily. I don't. I mean, maybe not. The thing is, Animal Farm was anti-Stalin, and I forget when Stalin died. It was in the 50s, and Khrushchev, in his secret speech, he denounced Stalin and his ways of doing things, right? And he wanted to enact certain reforms and stuff like that. So I guess given the timeline, it might make a little bit of sense, depending. But I don't know if it was directly an Animal Farm thing. Because like people like to point and be like, well, you see, Orwell fought on the side of the anarchists or the communists or the whoever in the Spanish Civil War, and it's like, okay, cool, but a lot of his books were quite literally anti-communist books, whether you want to admit it or not. Whether you want to sit here and be like, well, actually, you see, it was just anti-authoritarian. Yeah, communism is an authoritarian. Communism is inherently authoritarian. It just is what it is. A beginner's guide to Soviet animated cinema. I'm sort of curious about that. I'm just gonna click on it to get it into my thing. All right. That will be in my history. We're gonna play a quick game of AOE to close this off. Okay, it's been about 3 hours. A little bit under. Excuse me. Scott, this is too intellectual. Can you please put on Skibbity Toilet instead of making me think? Don't worry, dude. I got something even dumber than Skibbity Toilet. It's Age of Skibbity Empires. Yeah, the cartoon was from Khrushchev. You see, there's certain names and certain words that when I say them, it really all whatever comes out first is what I'm gonna end up saying. And Khrushchev, sometimes I say Khrushchev, other times I say Khrushchev. But yeah. I mean, it really depends. It really depends. Show you guys how I've been doing lately. I am now 11 win. I'm up 11 wins, and I am in the high 700s in Elo, which is really, really cool. And it's like I said, it's not because I'm good at the game. It's because I have a strat that works very, very well for me. If I get arena, there's a very, very good chance that I will win. I'm not saying I'm definitely going to win. I'm saying there's a very, very good chance that I will win. And it'll be on the quick side if I do win. Excuse me. Whoa. President Putin. Vladimir Putin says, quote unquote, godless Jews are tearing down the Russian Orthodox Church. They're tearing the Russian Orthodox Church apart, calling them a rootless people with no kin or soil. They're tearing the church apart. They're not even atheists. These are people without any beliefs. Godless people. They're ethnic Jews, but has anyone seen them in a synagogue? I don't think so. These are people without kin or memory, with no roots. They don't cherish what we cherish, and the majority of the Ukrainian people cherish as well. I of course disavow that, sir. Oh, of course, of fucking course. Yeah. It's not like all hope is lost or anything like that. But the thing is, much like people who get isthmus, right? It's usually people who have a strat for isthmus, You know, it's not people who are like, oh yes, I'm actually like good at the game. You know, it's kind of like the way that I am on Arena. You know, but all right, let's go ahead. Um, that's pretty crazy to hear him say that though. Oh, Saracens. All right. Oh, duh. Synthesizing two opposites doesn't actually tell me anything about what is true or not. It's just an endless process philosophy that will never reach the weird libertarian classless stateless world. Oh, pipe dream they have. I don't know exactly what you're referring to there, Vic. You know, I'm like I feel like I know what you're talking about, but I feel like I don't exactly know what you're talking about. If it makes sense, what I'm, you know, if it makes sense what I'm trying to say. All right, hopefully that's what I'm looking for there. I just got muted by the enforcer for calling him state-sponsored propaganda. LMFAO, him and the China show glow so hard his voice got all shaken after allegedly he has 9K viewers, all bots. Who's the enforcer? Drift Speed. I don't know. Well, welcome. I don't think I've ever seen you here before, but who's the enforcer? I'm confused as to who that is. Like am I just like having a massive brain fart right now? Like I should know who that is. I'm a little bit concerned because I'm kind of like, oh man, what if there's something going on where it's like, you know, somebody who's coming here to watch me is you know, what if somebody who's coming here to watch me is like being mistreated by a mod or something like that, you know, which has happened before. Uh he just shows videos about Russia. Oh, okay, all right. Yeah. Do you mean like Soviet Russia or do you mean Russia, Russia, like, you know, the Russian Federation Russia? I'm just curious. Oh, yeah. Oh, you have been here. Well, welcome back, Dripsuit. Oh, you know what? Yeah, yeah. You're now that you're saying it again, your name sounds familiar to me, which sounds like I'm bullshitting, which sounds like I'm trying to be like, oh yeah, I remember you. Now that you're telling me you've been here before, but no, like now that I'm saying your name out loud for a second time, I am like, oh no, wait, I feel like that does kind of sound familiar here. Um, oh, like current events, yeah, yeah. When you say he does videos about Russia, is it for or against? You know, because me personally, like I don't, you know, I'm not some like, oh geez, I'm not some like massively anti-Russia guy necessarily, but like I do think that Ukraine, um, yeah, I think that Ukraine like they have a right to not be fucking invaded. You know, it's a situation where it's like I wish the brother war would stop, but when people say that, a lot of the time what they mean is, hey man, like the way a bully the way a bully says we can do it the easy way or the hard way, you know, just stay down and take it, and it won't be as bad, you know, like that type of thing. Like when people say that, that's what they usually mean. Is like Ukraine just needs to let Russia cuck them. They just need to let Russia cuck them, you know that, and that's not what I mean. I mean like I think Russia should probably fuck off, if I'm just being honest with you. But like, it's not some weird thing where it's like, oh no, but Putin is like Hitler, but so is Donald Trump. You know, Putin is like Hitler, and he's dumb, but he's also an evil genius, and he's a pussy, but he's also incredibly scary. You know, like the leftist style of hate. You know. Come on. Yep, got him. Uh, it's all super anti-Russia, and it's obviously propaganda. It's insulting to our intelligence. The China Show is another one. Their two channels have both have 10K viewers, and their chats are as fast as yours. Oof, man, that that sucks. Well, then again, if it's like a clear propaganda show, maybe that doesn't suck. Maybe that's a good thing, you know. Uh-huh. You see, this dude is already pretty far ahead of me. And you know why? It's probably because he's got actual navy going on. I should set up a naval front as soon as I can, but in fact, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just try our best to get some whatever it's called. Um I think whoever call it Kiev should get to own it. Is it Kiev or I play COD World at War. I know it's Kiev. Yeah, fucking I don't know. I think overall at the end of the like I'm very ANCAP when it comes to the way that I perceive these things and the way that I like think about these things. If you can take the land and hold it, it's yours. There doesn't have to be some big thing about the legitimacy of the move or anything like that. Who gives a shit? You can take the land, you can hold it, it's yours. Congratulations. I feel the same way about Israel. The issue with Israel is that they can't hold the land without our help, and I don't think they should have our help in holding the land. I think they should stand on their fucking own. And I don't care what like weird bullshit they're trying to say they give us in return when really we don't get anything out of them. When have they ever come to our aid? They've only ever helped us. Excuse me, we've only ever helped them is what I meant to say. At the cost of ourselves, mind you. Oh boy, feudal age. All right, let's get a few more of those. Come on, baby. Yeah, I'm probably fucked in this game. If I lose quick, I'll try and get an arena map. Oh, Kiev or something, not Kiev. Oh. Yeah, I don't. Oh, uh-oh. Yeah, Andy's Saracens. They have some pretty strong units, depending. Plus, geographically, the river looks like such a good natural border. It's like an OCD thing. The color of the map should fill all the way to the water. I'm not too familiar with the way that they are in terms of their maps and shit like that. So I couldn't even confirm or at the very least tell you like, oh yeah, that's a good point. There we go. Hmm. Oh wait, no. I'm gonna send these guys over there after. Sorry, I'm kind of locking in right now because I'm like I'm probably gonna lose, but like if I don't have to, I don't want to. Plus, I don't pay attention to Ukraine the way that certain people do. Like I have buddies who really pay attention to Ukraine, and they tell me a thing every now and again. Um, but like me personally, I'm not like way into Ukraine, so a lot of the things that people say to me just kind of they go over my head in that way. And I'm like, oh, I have no clue. Bert stream gives me Agita, but this stream aligns my chakras. Good to hear, sir. Good to hear. Happy I could be of service. Oh yeah, shit. I have to. Go here. Bada bing, bada boom. Luckily, he doesn't have any good. So he doesn't have any navy over here, which means I'm pretty safe, all things considered. What I need to do is build this, and then I will build that. Nah, you know what? I want that first. Then I'm gonna send these guys over here to try and get some farms up. Luckily I'm gonna be able to get to Castle Age pretty quick. You know, basically, as soon as these things are done, I should be good to get to Castle Age. Kind of crazy. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I underestimated it a little bit. If these guys get back and then these guys can do something, I might be able to get to Castle Age on the quick side. Man, I wish we didn't have to sleep. Yeah, that'd be nice. I'm not a big sleep fan. I like the act of it. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Yeah, 7, and there's 7 of these assholes, and then we can go to Castle Age. Yeah, I don't really like having sleep. I'm not a big sleeping fan. I'm a very productive person. I've been very unproductive the last month and a half to 2 months, but even my unproductive phases are still they're still very productive, you know? It's just they're not as productive as they need to be. And I've been on a kick where I've been like, okay, I gotta actually get productive. I've been curbing the amount of time that I play AoE, you know? I didn't play it at all today up until I pulled it up here because I was too busy doing other stuff. I was editing videos. I was making stuff for my gym because we're getting ready for New Year's stuff, and I'm also starting up a new class, a cardio kickboxing class. So like I'm really trying to push that because I get a I get a certain amount of money out of that, right? I'm getting a commission from that. And then there's all this other stuff too that's going to be good for me. Excuse me, that like I need to work on. I really need to make sure that I'm doing. This guy's kind of playing a little weird. He's kind of playing a little lethargic, I feel like, you know. Obviously fucking I don't want that dude getting to that, but I mean 2 barracks. You know what? I'm gonna try my best to take the center. Let's see what we can do here. Let's see what we can do here. Where are you idiots going? Don't want to, I don't want to get blasted by his naval. Again, don't want to get blasted by his naval. Whoop. 2, 3, 4. And then, you're, yeah, again, I don't want to build it over here because I'll get blasted by his naval forces. I definitely don't want to get blasted. No, sir. Damn, I can't. Oh, you know what? Fuck it. We'll go over here. Not in bad shape, but I don't want to take it for granted. So I'm gonna make sure that I hit this. Ooh. Oh, damn. You see, I need 50 wood to get that fucking double bit axe. He doesn't have. Oh wow, okay. You know what? Yeah. I have the center, which is good, or I'm breaking into the center, which is good. But now that I know he doesn't have any sort of oh, he's in Castle, it's just not good for me. Got to at least get a couple of these guys out there. Oh, head over there. But yeah, now that I know he has no navy at all, I can go ahead and I can not worry as much about this fishing ships and things like that. Yeah. Ah, you fucking bastard. Iravata Snaorwella. Iravata Snaorwella. Iravata Snaorwella. There we go. Yeah, fuck it. I need as much melee in these guys as I can because they're gonna be protective. They're gonna protect when melee comes after these guys. You know? Then I feel like there was another one somewhere. Oh, he's probably gonna get that if he is going after him. Yeah, once these three are taken care of, once these three are up, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna blast them. I'm gonna try and roll them ASAP. You know, I got three of them. You know what? I think I'm just gonna have to take the three. You see, I have pikemen. Yeah, I have pikemen, which are good, but more importantly, I have a bunch of Teutonic knights. So, even though they're not going to be good for any ranged anything, like Teutonic knights get eaten alive by anything that's not, anything that's not infantry. I'll be in good shape either way. You know, take this, go there. And then yeah, all right, let's send them out. Hopefully this is gonna work. Oh, nice. I'm going out with one less I'm going out with one less of these than I would typically prefer to go with. Oh. Get out of my fucking face. Where's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Go, go, go. You assholes better hurry up. Oh, nope. Get out. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're rolling the fuck out of this guy right now. I don't even have the force that I would usually want to hit him with. I'd usually go one more I'd usually go one more ram. You know, one more ram. But dude, where are you going, you idiot? I'd usually go one more ram, but you know, it's working out for me pretty well right now. You know, I might as well create that ram right now. Where is yes, okay. And then come down here to grab this one. And then all right, hopefully. Oh man. Damn, he did a pretty good job of getting that one ram. Fuck. What an idiot. These fucking idiots, dude. Damn. That was good on his part, but he's going camels, which is actually kind of good for me, you know. It's not as much of a sure thing as I had originally anticipated. But then again, it is more of a sure thing than it might feel like right now. I feel like 1, 2, 3. We're gonna go here. Knowing that he's going camels, I'm not feeling too worried. You know, I'm not feeling too worried. Especially he's being foolish right now, not using that thing to take out these guys. All right, let's go. Apparently I'm doing really well on that front. Yeah, if I get to Imperial before this guy does, he's absolutely screwed. I'm surprised my economy is doing as well as it is because I don't have any upgrades or anything like that, and I've only got 45 vills, so that's pretty impressive the way I was able to pull this off, and you know, the way I've been able to pull this off thus far. Let's go ahead, create a bunch more of these guys. On there. I definitely feel like our sleep schedule should be on like a 35-hour day. You'd have enough hours to sleep and also do stuff during the day. Yeah, I don't know about that, you know. I mean, I've heard some people work well with that kind of schedule, but like I don't know anyone who's like that. And it's partially because like who has the ability to even live like that at the end of the day, you know? I don't know of many people. Right here. Go ahead. You know what? Fuck it. Let's see what happens. Yeah, Saracens aren't a joke, you know, but I'll feel comfortable if I can get this second castle up because I'll literally be able to bring Trebs over here and they'll be able to Treb down that main TC that he's got. Plus they'll be fucking, you know, taking that thing out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, 4 right here. I will go ahead. Bang bang. I have quite a bit of food. Like I said, I don't know where this I don't know where this economy is coming from. You know, obviously I'm low on wood, but that's because I've been fucking around with the wood. Um, oh, you know what it is? Because these guys are running around uncontested, and I don't even have that many of them. I have what, 5? Yeah, 5 of them. They're just running around uncontested though, so it works out for me. Ah, okay. All right, okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and say target that one instead. Why don't you go ahead? And you know what I'll do too? Ah, fuck. Yeah. Still waiting on that. Oh, I have another Treb. I have another Treb ready. Nice. I'm gonna go ahead and see what I can do with the trebuchet before I start messing around with these guys right here. I'm gonna. What? Oh, okay. I'm also gonna make. I'm also gonna make gunpowder units. Damn, I've. What's up? What's up? Oh, I ain't worried about that. Yeah, it might be in the bag. Ah, fuck. Keyword might be, but we'll see. See, and that's why it might be in the bag is because oh, in fact, you know what? You know what I also need to do? Click up for these. These guys are gonna try and attack my. Luckily for me, the only thing that's over here is that shit right there. So I will go ahead. I will see what I can do with these. Not even gonna be worried about that. But just in case, I will go ahead. Hmm. No, that's fine. You know, he's got a finite amount. He's got a finite amount of those things, and they're just gonna get eaten alive by anything they try to attack. Hence, you know, this shit right here. You know, I'll be able to do my thing while I fucking tear him apart. You know, there ain't gonna be shit he can do. Look at that. Like, nothing. You know, he ain't got nothing. I do gotta see what is where though. So I barely have any fucking I have like no more gold production. So, you know what, I'm just gonna toss all these guys there because I have so much. I'm floating a little bit of gold, not gold, fucking what am I floating right now? Just sort of firing squad over here. Just like, all right. Oh, see, that's what I was wondering about. That's what I was wondering about. You know, luckily for me, I have these, and then I have more of these, and then I'm also creating more trebs. So that is, oh, man, okay. I have even more of those than I had anticipated. Damn. Oh, interesting. Okay. Now he's trying to stand up fucking he's trying to stand up some kind of naval force. I'll go ahead and I'll get as many of those as I can. Oh, okay. All right. See, now the Mamelukes could be a bit of a problem. The Mamelukes could be a bit of a problem. I will say that much. However, if I can treb this thing down in good enough time, may not be that big of a problem, especially because my gunpowder is doing a pretty good job right now, you know. I just want them to stay there. You guys stay here. I don't know why you have dudes there. Silly you. Silly you guys. I'm gonna send these down there. You know, I'm at a point I'll just sacrifice them. I don't even care. You know, if it gets a little bit of something, I'm all right with it. Yep. See, I acted as quick as I could. I pressured him. You know, I took the center, and you know, like that's my strat now is just like like I used to wait until the Imperial Age to start really trying to put something together and attack, but I'm kind of hitting the ground running a little bit more now. It's more Castle Age aggression than anything. I played with Taylor last night, and you know, he said he's impressed with how much I've improved. So that's a very high compliment to me. It's a very high compliment because he's the guy that even though he still kicks my ass, like he's the guy that like when I think of a good player, I think of him. So it's like to get complimented by a good player, I'm like, oh, sick, you know. Excuse me. But anyway, um, why don't you eat iron then? What do you, huh? Why don't I eat iron? Or you oh, you're talking to Vic. I'm also anemic, so I get tired and it fucks with my productivity. Oh, that's the worst, man. I'm sorry to hear that, you know. Isn't anemia curable by using like an iron pan or something? An iron pan, a cast iron pan. That'd be pretty sick. Do you do martial arts that focus on using weapons? I used to do bow staff. Weapons. Weapons. Nah, I don't do any martial arts that focus on weapons. Although I do karate. I missed karate 2 weeks in a row. I'm kind of pissed. Tonight wasn't my fault though. They canceled it because of the snow. But they do some weapon stuff in my style of karate. But you know, I don't do like eskrima. I don't do anything like that. You know, if I could do one, I do Irish stick fighting. The issue is only Irish weeaboos do stick fighting. Only the guys who are like, dude, I'm full-blooded Irish. I was born in Brockton, kid. Dude, I've never left Brockton in my entire life. Everything I need is in Brockton, but me, I'm full-blooded Irish kid. You know, like those guys, the worst kind of fucking guy. Those are the types of dudes that want to do Irish stick fighting. And I don't want to be one of those guys, but I'd love to do Irish stick fighting. And then the other piece of it is that so little of it has survived that it is like You know, like you're doing Irish stick fighting, but you're kind of not really doing Irish stick fighting, for being honest here. And you know, I'd be willing to do an adulterated style, right? I'd be willing to do an adulterated style. I'd even be willing to try and, like, if not rebuild, then just build a style of Irish stick fighting that I feel like might have made a little bit of sense. You know, because if you do a lot of other forms of stick fighting, they're just not that good. They're just not good. Like Eskrima is not that good. Kali, not that good, if I'm just being honest here. And a lot of it comes down to the fact that they spend all day doing these little drills that don't actually do much for you in the way of becoming, like, truly dangerous with a stick in your hand. Um, you know, a dangerous man with a stick in your hand. Um, you know, like Dog Brothers FMA, the shit that they practice is, like, good because it's very sparring focused. It's very sparring focused. You're actually having to beat people with sticks for real. It's not just, well, in theory, if you do this and that, and now you have his stick. He's unarmed now, and you have two sticks to beat him with, right? It's not that. It's literally like, take stick, hit. If you find a better way to hit a dude with a stick, fantastic. All right, but it's got to be real. And Dog Brothers isn't that popular because of that fact. Because who wants to get beat with sticks? Not very many people want to get beat with sticks, you know. But, like, you know, it'd be nice to try and rediscover Irish stick fighting, if that makes sense, you know. I'm not poisoned by Kali. I'm not poisoned by Filipino martial arts or anything like that. It'd be nice to get a blackthorn and just, like, practice with that and think, like, huh, okay, so this, when I swing it like this, that seems to make sense, and it's defensively responsible, and I feel like if I hit somebody with that, it would really damage them in a way that they might not be able to just, like, shake off. And then I could do this, and then I'll do that, and then, what about that? And this, actually, that, no, I don't think that's good. That's not defensively responsible. Or, like, if I hit somebody with it, it's not going to be that good. You know, like, I'd love to be able to do that. I would love to be able to do that, but I don't know, you know. Anyway, that armor fighting thing seems silly, kind of cool, but also kind of odd. Oh yeah, it's Reddit. It's Reddit, you know. Because it's not enough to just do something. You have to make it into this, like, thing, you know. Up, 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 up. Check the elo. Check the elo. Oh, we almost hit 800 elo, baby. And that's weird. I thought I had 11 more wins than losses. It's whatever. Who cares, you know? I wonder what this guy was at. Ooh, he's pretty close, too. He's pretty close, too. I would have been this guy's tying win if he won, you know? I'm starting to get dudes that don't suck, you know? But anyway, like, I can't stand Reddit shit because, like, you have, like, everyone, like, you can't just live in the real world. You have to be trying to be Mr. like like, hold up. You know, I gotta get going after this. It's late. You know, I gotta actually spend time with my bitch. She's like, huh? Well, I wasn't paying attention to you. I ignore you. Huh. You're saying it like it is a joke. You're saying like it's a joke. Like it's a joke. It is a joke. What was I gonna do? What was I gonna do? Oh yeah. Hold up. Right, like we're gonna look at HEMA dudes, right? Like,
This is
you can't just be a HEMA dude and, like, have regular pants on. You can't just be a HEMA dude. Yeah, like, this is the hipster fencer. Like, this dude's making fun of that guy, but he still owns that shit. So it's you know. But, like, everything has to be a hipster thing, you know. Everything has to be like dapper. Like, everything's a fucking Disney or a Pixar thing, you know. And it's so fucking annoying. I can't stand hipsters. I've never liked hipsters, but I've especially, when it comes to martial arts, I've never liked hipster martial artists who are like, you know, like they can't just do Muay Thai. Muay Thai isn't exotic enough for them. They do something where when you say it, where when they say it, you're like, huh, what the hell is that? Because they want you to be like, huh? Now what's that? And then they get to be like, oh, well, you see, it's a type of martial art where you use swords. Yeah, I use swords. Yeah, I use swords. I'm a quirker. I'm a little quirker. I'm a little quirker. All right. Quirker is our word though. All right. You can say quirka. All right. You can say quirka, but me, I can say quirker if I want. You know. Like they have to be like that, and it's just like fucking get out of my face. You know. I can't stand steampunk people. People who want to be steampunk. People like that are the absolute worst. You know, they are absolutely like they just suck. They just they just fucking suck, you know. And again, you get dudes like this and it's just like fuck. You know? Anyway, um but yeah, anyway, I'm gonna head out, guys. All right. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. I missed the stream on Wednesday. I'm gonna miss a stream or two in the next couple of weeks. I'm gonna try and make sure that I get around to I'm gonna make sure I give you something. But it is gonna be a little bit weird with the holiday, and then there's some other stuff that I got to take care of, and there's just stuff I got to do. So I will. I'll talk to you guys later. Right. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.